Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rant and Bollox. We're at episode 16, aren't we, Paul?
You're just obsessed with counting all the way up now, aren't you?
Exactly, yeah. We're going to go all the way to 17.
17, then we stop counting.
Just one more.
I'm still
it's
here.
good to count them, because then you can keep track of the shit that's been said. So you can say episode 17 I said this, or I predict in episode 15 I predicted the E3 stuff, and I can tell you which ones I got right and which ones I might have got wrong.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea, but I think it'll be turned on us, and then the lawyers will be able to say, in episode 14 you slandered my client.
That's when we edit the titles on YouTube. It's just like, there are no titles.
Yeah, that's true. That's the easiest way around it.
Yeah. How's the week been for you, man?
Yeah, I've been having a good week. Had a few friends over from Ireland. We've had a party. We've all had sore heads.
Party, yep.
You were there too?
I was there, yeah. I think the funniest thing one of your mates said was he hasn't remembered going to bed and taking his clothes off. Like he just wakes up. He just wakes up in bed with his clothes every morning. He's like, "Oh, I must have went to bed last night." You know, this is like like the entire time he was over. I think he only remembered once, and that was after seeing Wonder Woman. Funny enough,
that's true. And
yeah.
To be fair, that means it's been a quiet week because, he ends up in bed every night, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
It's not
be on just a street corner.
Yeah, or a field.
But, it's been busy. You were out doing some filming yourself, and...
yeah, I got some travelling, and you were working your ass off.
Yeah, but we're back. We're back for episode 15.
Whichever episode it is. Might be 17. Who knows?
We're just going to keep you all guessing.
I'm keeping the lawyers guessing so they don't know. Because that's what people aren't here to listen to us about our dull to miserable lives. They want to know about the news that they could find on the internet.
Of course.
Do we have any?
I've got a bit of tech. I haven't got that much tech news. I've got a lot of gaming because we've got to talk about the E3 roundup and what happened at E3.
So how are you going to do it? Are you going to make E3 part of tech, or are you just going to screw tech and go straight into gaming and say the Xbox is gaming?
Well, the only thing I wanted to hit on the whole tech thing was we talked about last week was the iMac, and we were talking about the iMac Pro, and you were like, "Oh, well, maybe I'll get it. I don't know, but I think it's out in December."
Right.
But someone maxed out like all the pieces and said like, if you were to put this together, like Apple haven't released the prices on their site yet, but knowing the Apple. What prices they usually use for their components. Someone maxed it out, like the new iMac Pro. If you were to choose all the best gear, it would come to $17,000 So that's the best processor, the best, the best graphics card, the most RAM you can get, and all that lot. So $17,000. I
have to go get a headache tablet because that is painful to hear.
I know. And then that's going to be what we were saying, like 20. Before tax in Canada probably, and then after tax. I mean, tax on that thing is over $2,000.
Man, I knew I shouldn't have pre-ordered two of them for us. That is really going to kick us in the balls.
And it's a shame we can't cancel them.
That is going to cost you your house. That is a bad Christmas.
I know. That's bad, but also at the same time pretty damn good one. So
it's going to be a case now, I guess, because their last professional machine was that bloody tube, their black tube thing.
Oh yeah.
So I think everyone's going to be kind of wary of spending $20,000 on this thing.
Well, yeah, and you can't upgrade an iMac either. So you can upgrade, I think, the memory in it, but you can't replace that screen. You can't put a new graphics card in it. You can't put a new CPU in it. So they might be going down the same route.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just so powerful that you really don't need to change this thing in like 10 years. So.
What do you think? I don't think that's going to happen. Doesn't sound like Apple.
I think when you spend $20,000 on a computer, you want to be able to switch things in and out. So basically, okay, I've had this for 3 years. The CPU's still great. Oh, I've got 128 gigabytes of memory. However, I want to change my graphics card. In the iMac, you won't be able to. The screen, fair enough. The screen's pretty damn good. I don't see anyone wanting to change it, but down the line, like if you were to spend $20,000 on a PC. You would just get a monster, and you'd know that you could just change. Oh, I'll change the CPU out. I'll get some more memory. I'll get 2 graphics cards.
Well, that's the other thing. If it breaks, like you're going to send it back to Apple and get Apple Care protection or whatever.
Oh yeah, and I'm guessing that's just like their usual, but still, it's still another 300 or another 500 on top of the 20 that you've already spent. So
Yeah.
this is a crazy thing, like the tax on that maxed out iMac, the tax on it is like the price of a MacBook. It's basically like, it's like you can get a MacBook for the tax, But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because I thought that was a ridiculous pricing.
Those processors are out next month, aren't they? The 18-core mega.
I believe so. Yeah,
computers.
They said if you were to buy them on their own, just like in a Canada computer shop or just one of these computer shops, it's $2,000 on its own, the processor.
Right.
So
it's just gonna be. I want to see what people are gonna like play around with that, see if it works or not. Like, is it gonna be the game changer?
I don't think it's a game changer, but it's going to be for rendering and like 3D stuff. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. But I don't know if it's going to be like revolutionary because like next year they're probably going to have a 30-core one. It's like they're going to just go mental with it. But we all know that Apple charge a lot for their systems, and they've got quality systems. But 17,000, that's like getting ridiculous. That's for companies, really. Companies are paying for that. I don't see an individual paying.
No, like that's for like a proper professional editor, like a suite.
Yeah,
like 3 screens or whatever. So it'll probably cost him like 30 grand. He'll have to get all those RAID hard drives and all those Thunderbolt Expresses and all them. So he's editing 4K 3D footage. But
you can't deny that you'd love to see how that renders out a couple of the videos.
Oh yeah, I know. But like you said, if you take the money you're going to pay for that, let's say it's going to be $25,000 US once you get all the hard drives and terabytes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And a couple of extra 4K screens on either side. What are you going to get for that for a PC system?
Oh, man, you're just going to get a monster, like I said, like an absolute monster.
Yeah.
And also, in December, there'll be even better hardware out. So, you've got to also figure that the iMac's a very thin computer. So they're kind of taking some shortcuts. So they're not maybe putting the best motherboard or best graphics card in there because it's so thin and it needs to watch out about heat. Whereas if you've got a traditional PC, just like give me the biggest badass graphics card you can buy. It's like I don't care about heat. I've got a ventilation shaft, on the back of it. So
and that's kind of why Apple don't have that big market, the big company market. Like no one's out buying Apple supercomputers.
No. I mean, you never know. Maybe people are going to start buying this iMac Pro.
Yeah. I've always seen Mac as like prosumer, like the guys who aren't quite at a big tech company, but they're like professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you mean. Actually, like you see a lot of these big companies, and they're all running Microsoft and one of Dells, aren't they? So
yeah, and like you said, if you're going to build a proper monster machine, you want something you just like look, just put whatever bloody parts into it, and we'll cool it down.
Slot it in.
Yeah,
because you can imagine being an editor now, and then you're like, okay, I've got a really good computer, it's great, and in 2 years you're like, okay, I'm going to get the best graphics card because the latest After Effects or the latest Premiere supports it. I'll just get some more RAM as well. I'll double my RAM, and then you can do that, and you can just slot it in, and hey, you can even sell your old graphics card, Yeah. Whereas with the iMac, you're like, shit, I can just upgrade the memory underneath, and I'm already maxed out, so I can't do anything with this. This is just literally stuck as it is. It actually happened to me about 7 or 8 years ago when I first moved to Canada. I bought an iMac. I loved them, loved the screen. I had it all. And then after, I'd say about 4 years, I like to upgrade my machines and stuff. After 4 years, I was just using it as a screen. I wasn't even using the components inside because the PC that I had built was like by far better.
Yeah.
So I was just using the iMac screen, which was wonderful. But I was just like, what am I doing? Like, I'm plugging my computer into a screen, but there's components in here that are just literally idle. They're not even doing anything.
Yeah.
So, and that's what happens to iMacs after a while, because their screens are gorgeous, but the insides just get dated.
I think it might be a misstep now we're talking about it for Apple, like trying to get into a market where your biggest selling thing for Apple is like it's, closed system. Look how smooth it is. Look how flat it is. Ooh, look at how pretty it is. And everyone's like, I don't care. For this much money, I need a horse, Yeah. I don't need a pony that's got pretty hair. I need a horse that's going to carry this goddamn cart down the road.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's like, and then like, fuck it, you might need 2 horses. You might need, a bloody Mustang. So
yeah, some of these companies might actually buy a car. You know, that's the way things are nowadays.
Yeah,
they don't use horses.
You can buy a car with the price of the iMac.
That's true.
Pro. You can buy a very nice car. You can buy a boat.
You could probably buy a Mustang car for the price of an iMac.
It's a very, very good down deposit on a house or a cottage.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But look how flat it is. Look how smooth it is. It's black.
It's flat.
It's grey, whatever space grey they're calling it.
Space grey, yeah. It's like, the back of it looks like bloody Darth Vader. So, kind of.
Oh, well, that's going to be interesting. See the reviews on that. Yeah, I think the reviews will be great, but it might just fall into that system of, who cares? We can just buy a PC for 20 grand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not Apple's wheelhouse. I think they're stepping outside their comfort zone.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's going to be interesting to see how much they invest into it, and you know, I guess if they sell well, they'll pump out more. But even if there's going to be one on display at like your local Apple store, just so you can take a look at it. But how are they going to demonstrate how powerful it is? Like they should show like it rendering out some 4K footage in like seconds or something, you know, and then they should have a traditional computer next to it or something.
Yeah.
But then you don't want to put down your ordinary machines either. But they've got to be able to sell that nicely.
And then they can't bring in a PC and stick a PC in an Apple store because Macintosh won't like that.
Yeah,
or not Macintosh, bloody Microsoft won't like that.
But then you could also argue, like we said before, it's not like your average Joe's going in and going like, "Yeah, I'm just going to drop 20 grand today."
Yeah,
you know, so
which puts us back in the space of who's buying this? Who's getting this?
Some big ass companies.
Yeah.
4K, man, 4K. That's all the rage. 6K, 8K. So, I'm receiving files at work are in like 6K. So, and I know they're capable of going to 8 and 12. It's nuts how crazy you can film now.
Yeah, I think David Fincher's shooting in like 8K now or something. His movies.
He needs to calm himself down.
Yeah. You're giving.
But yeah, that was kind of the tech thing. I just reading that article just kind of blew me away, and I know that we talked about it last week. We'll have to follow up on it closer to Christmas, and we'll see. We'll see if anyone gets it as a Christmas present.
Well, you're getting one, and I'm getting one. So,
like you said, the pre-order, the cancel button's grayed out.
There's no reason I should have been on Apple's website that day, but there we go.
Yeah, just happened to be using someone else's credit card as well. Well done. So, I do know it's your turn for a tech bollocks question. I don't know if you wanted to do that or if you want me to hit some gaming first.
Who doesn't love tech bollocks questions?
All right. What we got? Fire one off.
This it came about because of this week when we've had all these dirty immigrants coming over here and stealing our drink.
It's just disgusting, isn't it?
I know. But it's also, we're in the boat of being dirty immigrants, but we don't tell anybody that.
Sure.
So here's a question.
Apart from on a podcast every week.
Apart from the stupid podcast.
Yeah.
In the future, obviously, that's when all our questions take place. Do you think Martians will care about Earthlings? So let me explain.
Sure.
Because that's a little bit weird to say.
Because it kind of touches on last week's as well.
Yeah. What I mean here is not aliens, not extraterrestrials.
Mm-hmm.
These are terrestrials. These are humans
that
will... live on Mars, the first colonies that live on Mars. So let's say we send a ship out there with 5,000 people on it. It's got some of that like 3D printing tech. They can take the rocks and they can build little, houses for themselves. But that's a one-way trip.
Okay.
And there's like 5,000 people. I think that's the number you need to like colonize a planet because then you don't have inbreeding and, all that. So 5,000 means that you can start a new civilization.
Okay.
So we send 5,000 people to Mars. They're never coming back.
Sure. That's actually a thing that might be happening as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So if we put people
not on that scale.
Not on that scale, but like on that kind of scale, if you have those people, they're scientists, they're smart, they were born here, they have family here, they'll be doing communication. It's like whatever, a 20-minute delay or something.
But they hear a song on their way over?
No. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
They put on their cowboy hats. Yeah. So they've got family here. They live here. They care about Earth. They'll be wearing American flags and Chinese flags and Japanese flags, and they'll be representing mankind and Earth and the EU and the international space community.
Yep.
But their kids will be born on Mars.
Yeah.
Their kids will be Martians.
Okay.
Their kids don't have passports from India. They don't know what the hell Sydney, Australia is. They don't know what a blue sky is. They've never seen Earth. So that generation of Martians, will they give a shit about our planet?
I think they definitely will. As in, like, they'll want to come back and all that lot and check it out. Like, what's Mars has already got so much to offer.
Yeah, I know, it's like a desert planet and all that.
Yeah, but one thing when you said that, which I found really interesting, is that yeah, they have a Martian passport. I wouldn't put it past the government, the world, saying that anyone born on there in the first few, I don't know, whatever, 100 years, their passport is Earth as well. Like, because their parents risked their lives, or to start their civilization.
Right.
So it's almost like, which is going away now with Brexit, but you've got a British passport and you can use it in the EU and stuff. It's like their passport, they can go anywhere in the world. Like if they wanted to go back or something like that. Like, it's the privilege of their parents going out there early and starting a colony and stuff. But why would you don't think they would want to come back to Earth?
Well, the scenario that I'm predicting is that we're going to send them with enough tech to start a new country. They'll start terraforming. They'll have some sort of, maybe a dome, okay?
Sure.
And they'll be able to start building houses. But the basic plan is that it probably might be 2 generations. And in that period, we might send new people there, or we might not.
Right.
But there's not enough stuff on Mars for them to come back.
Right, okay.
So unless we send extra fuel to Mars to bring people back, but that's a waste of our resources.
Yeah, okay.
So I think, like, after the first generation of kids, they'll grow up with their parents and they'll be like, oh yeah, Dad was American, he told me all these stories.
Sure.
But their kids, the grandkids of the first colonists, they just grew up on Mars with Martian parents.
Right.
So maybe they're off there planting all this stuff and doing all this exploring. They might just be like, you know what, we're not listening to NASA anymore. We're not listening to Command Center. Like,
right.
Why do we care about this mission, or go explore that rock, or go do that moon? I'm going to, plant my farm, and I'm going to take care of my family. I see it in kind of like the Wild West kind of way of everyone who was out in the Wild West discovering America. They're technically Americans.
Yeah.
But they didn't give a crap about Washington. They just went out to Omaha, and they went out to Nebraska, and they went all the way up to Alaska just to find land and have a farm for themselves.
Sure. I do. I see it a little bit like there's one factor in it you've sent them off there. You said they don't have the resources to come back. So when realistically would be the next time they would want to send or could send someone to Mars? Like, they can't come back, or is there the possibility of coming back?
I don't think there's a possibility of coming back for like decades.
Right.
Because you're sending all your resources to Mars to build up a new civilization.
Yeah.
So sending resources to bring people back doesn't make sense. Like, what do we get bringing one of those people back?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's that kind of like pioneer thing of like, you're out there on your own.
Yeah.
If you die, well, that's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was kind of seeing it as like a little bit like Star Trek, whereas Earth's like the home country, and like I remember in one of the episodes where the Borg got close to Earth or started to assimilate places on Earth, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, that's the home,"
Yeah, I get.
But that's obviously like that.
No, this is more like our tech, but say maybe 30, 40 years down the line. So it's still it's still like a 1 year, 2 year trip to get out there.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not a quick system. You're not coming back and visiting your parents. Like, you're gone, you're not coming back. Your kids aren't coming back. Your grandkids aren't coming back. Maybe your great grandkids will have the tech that they can start processing helium or something and sending rockets back.
Yeah,
but would they want to? Like, would they care?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I think they will, because I think they would have heard stories from like their parents when they were younger, but then their parents probably would have set it up in the thing of like, we're starting new life out here, and we're like, and it could be better, with all the tech and maybe some of the land over there is awesome. So Earth will just be a fairy tale little story that they got told when they were younger, and that's where that's where they came from. But it depends like how they evolved on there, or what the land's like. Is it good for growth? It's like, are they planting trees and it's going nuts?
Yeah,
they've got like jungles and stuff. But it's interesting because they would always be told about Earth and all the little things that happened. But yeah, I like exactly what you said. Like, I think people will form their own little, groups, or people go off adventuring on Mars, maybe not even to be seen again. Just to start another little group somewhere else.
Yeah, it just seems like a new society is going to spring up, and it's always that mentality of, oh, it's going to go bad. But if you create that divide, it's just like people on Mars become Martians, and they'll see themselves as something separate than Earthlings.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that we'll go to war, because we'll still have all the best tech and they'll have nothing.
Yeah.
But they'll just be like, well, no, you know what? We're not listening to you. We're turning off the radio. Screw you guys. We have enough trees and food. We're fine. That's
the thing. Yeah, turning off the radio is very interesting. Like, we're closing communication. They're like, how are you guys doing? Like, yeah, we're doing fine out here, or whatever. And then it's just like, I don't know. I still see them having that communication, and like, I don't know if it's in the form of like delayed messages or webcams or something, but I could still see them doing that. But it depends. It depends what kind of technology they've got as well, and what they brought up over there. Like, yeah, if they've got these lush landscapes that they're living on, and yeah, like you said, there's thousands and thousands of people. Yeah, after a while, I can see them kind of, just forgetting about Earth and just being like, no, this is the new Earth. This is the place to be.
Yeah. Like, I see it from this perspective, like I said, of immigrants, of like your niece, she has British heritage, but she's Canadian. So like, to her, when her dad's talking about England and all that stuff, it's kind of just been like, oh yeah, dad grew up in England. But, she might visit on a holiday. But I don't think that her kids will see it as anything more than just like a something they attach to.
Right, yeah.
They'll be like, oh yeah, granddad was English. The way like we bump into people and they'll be like, oh yeah, my grandparents came from Ireland. And I'll be like, oh yeah, how many times have you been over? And like, oh yeah, I've never been over.
Yeah.
Like, how quickly to the point of just like, oh, I don't care.
I think they'll always care. I think it would be, Earth is just such a great place that they've come from. Even though if it's a grandchild talking about it, they'll be like,
but you're saying it's a great place. How is it a great place? It's just because your grandparents told you. And obviously they'll have TV shows and books and all that.
Yeah.
But if you think about it from their point of view, their grandparents chose to come to Earth, or their grandparents chose to leave Earth. And they kind of got stuck having to live on Mars on a crappy farm, dealing with all the dangers and bloody, if the dome breaks, we're screwed, and I have to work every day so I have enough food. Like,
well, that's
the resentment aspect of it.
I guess there's that, but is that how the mission was set up, or could it have been kind of framed as in like, there's thousands of you going to colonize Mars, and it's going to be great. We're bringing this technology with us, and we know that there's a lush landscape on this ridge here, and you can plant trees, and they'll be like, oh, that's awesome. Like, let's start new. Or is it, guys, we need to ship you out there, and we're not really sure what the hell's going to happen?
I think it's probably the second one. That's usually how we do this stuff. Look, guys, we're sending you to the moon. How are we getting there? We're just sticking you on the top of a rocket, and we're hoping for the best.
If it's the second one, then sure, there's more likely that your children are going to resent the place and you're not really, But I still think it's going to be that beacon of like, one day I wonder if we can ever go back, and they'll be talking about it. But there definitely will be that whole fuck you guys, like, we're turning off communication.
And how quickly do you think it would become a definitive split in that you're a Martian? You're human, that's but nuts, you're a Martian. I'm a human. Or I'm an Earthling.
I think as soon as like the first kids are born and they're actually called Martians, that's where it will really hit home, and you'll be like, hang on a second here, like these guys are born on Mars. They are Martians. They're not even like, are they? Yeah, because like, do they belong on Earth? Like, what happens if they were to ever go back to Earth or something, you know? Or
there must be some physical changes. I think the gravity's a little lighter on Mars.
Oh yeah.
And I guess the atmosphere would be less. It'd be harsher in some ways. To be stronger UV.
They'd all have good tans. So
yeah. So maybe they'll be taller than us, or maybe they'll turn out to be a little bit stronger. Or if they get to Earth, they might find Earth a little bit too, I don't know, windy. They're just like, I'm not used to wind. There's no atmosphere that we deal with.
Yeah.
We've never had to deal with thunderstorms or snow. We've never had snow.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
So you just be like, you guys definitely look Martian, you know? You're just a little bit taller and a little bit paler or darker, whichever way it'll go because of the radiation and all that.
Yeah, totally, man.
You're like, oh man, look at that Martian over there. I guess then it's also a case of, because the Federation in Star Trek, they never really address that. It's just everyone's a human.
Right.
And everyone comes from Earth, you know?
Yeah, they must have like been born on like spaceships and things like that, you know?
And even just on other planets, because I know Mars has a colony.
Right, yeah, that's right, yeah.
So it's just definitive. You can't just say if you were, what's his name, Spock. He's called half human, half Vulcan. That's true. But he was born on Vulcan, which is a planet. But I think his mother was on Vulcan too. So you can't really say he's Earthling or Earth's his home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just realized that that's kind of a simplified way of looking at the universe, because in the future, humans will be born on every planet that the Federation's on. So suddenly you're not an Earthling, you're just a human. And this is more the loyalty thing of like, how long before people don't even associate themselves with being Earthlings?
That's true, actually, yeah. Because then, eventually it's just like, just a general, I'm a human. I was born on this planet, but I'm a human. Like, they wouldn't, I guess they would call you Martians, or say if you were born on Venus or whatever, it's like, you're not a Venian.
Yeah.
You're just a human.
Venusian,
and then,
whatever it is, yeah.
But it's strange, like, to even call yourself, I guess, an Earthling, because we haven't met, I guess, anyone else. So it's like, we're humans, we're human beings. But as soon as we, or if we ever meet another race or something, are we Earthlings?
I guess we definitely have to be Earthlings, or whatever they call us.
Yeah, coming from the planet. That's
sort of why people say that if we bump into aliens, that it'll be this kind of coming together. Humanity will see itself as being like, oh, I'm not South African, I'm not Italian, I'm Earthling. Yeah.
That's interesting, actually, because then, like, they always say, like, will the wars stop and will peace come, you know? But then there's other factors involved, like if we're going to be wiped out, then maybe.
And if we get wiped out while there's people on Mars, will they might have a little bit of a cry or whatever.
But they're not going to be too bothered. I was thinking that as well. Like they're communicating with Earth or whatever, and then Earth's like, we're in World War III right now.
Yeah, see you guys.
And they're like, so we're not sure if we're gonna. And then it just goes out, and then it's like, oh my god, we might not ever hear from them again.
What was that? What happened? Huh?
Yeah,
Trump got reelected.
Oh god. yeah, and it just goes silent. They're like, well, we made the right choice.
Back to working on the fields, boys.
Yeah, on the farm.
The Martian farm. Yeah, I just thought it was interesting just how we're going to develop as a species. Because getting to Mars is hard enough, and then obviously the missions are all... The first, 20 missions will be just like the moon mission. Get them there, get them back. Because we don't have the tech to make them survive there.
Right.
But at some point we will develop the tech of like a giant 3D printer. We send that up. That builds a radiation-proof dome. And then we can send off a bunch of families and stuff and be like, all right, you're going. One-way trip. Although there is something in that. I remember hearing that. Maybe, I don't know if it's true. Maybe I just saw it in a movie. But I think there's a rule that says that no government can claim anything in space.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like the US planted a flag on the moon, but it can't actually say that it owns the moon.
Okay, right. Yeah, I think you're right. I've heard that as well. But what about like naming stars and stuff? Because I'm sure I heard like you can name stars, or
Yeah, you can buy it, adopt a star.
You can buy them, can't you? But
Yeah.
like, do you really own that, or is it just like a?
You just
Hey,
name it.
that's-
Yeah,
it's
it's
bollocks.
it's a token. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's something you do when you want to just impress your girlfriend and you forgot her birthday is tomorrow. Like,
Yeah,
I got you a star. What? You're a star. I love you. You're as beautiful as a star.
It's like my ex got me that one.
Yeah.
Shit. It's the one next to it.
That's the thing that I would do. I'd get my girlfriend a star, and then like a week later, Hubble would find it and it exploded. Like, son of a bitch.
It's exploded and it's killed a whole solar system around it.
Or I'd be like the one, you'd pick that one star, you'd be like, this one's you, baby. This is you all over. Star found with alien life forms killing all other organisms. Shit.
Yeah.
That's the xenomorph star. Then they're coming to kill us.
And they've spotted Earth. So.
God, I can't believe I got
They've gone round Mars. They're friends of Mars. They've gone round Mars.
Yeah, Mars could have deal with them saying, we don't care about those Earthlings. Let them rot.
Yeah. You can have some potatoes.
So I just thought that was just a weird thing of looking at the future, just how we immigrate to new countries and just, people try and keep their language and they lose it, and then they try and keep a little bit of the old cultures, but they kind of lose it. And it's, by the time we get to our grandkids, it's hard to keep track of how much they care. And certainly by the time we have great grandkids, how many people out there listening to this now can name their great grandparents?
Yeah, exactly. You won't get many.
No. So I just thought that was a thing of like, when we start colonizing other planets, we'll have this idea, this kind of federation idea of, we're all in this together. But how long before everyone's like, go fuck yourselves?
Yeah, exactly.
We found a mine of, I don't know, deuterium or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like we're not talking about Mars anymore. We're talking about that massive accomplishment on sorry, not talking about Earth anymore. We're talking about that massive accomplishment on Mars. They found some cave which has got like some rare adamantium in it.
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
Everyone's like, can you guys send some of that back? It's like, no,
that's changed the life on Mars.
That's
and
ours.
Stuff like that.
We're Martians now, so go fuck yourselves, you blue bastards.
Yeah, talking to the avatars.
They go in the water, swimming around. It's crazy. They don't even like fish.
They don't even like fish.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, anybody has any thoughts on that kind of colonization, send us a message. Tweet us at Rant and Bollox, or send us an email at rantandbollocks@gmail.com. Or just
let us know.
Or just do what everybody does every week and just comment on the video.
Yeah, just comment on the video. Let us know if you would take that ship to Mars, like if you had the opportunity to.
Yeah.
Would you board it and hopefully not stop off?
Yeah. Would you raise your family on Mars? And how long before you're just like, go fuck yourselves?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Earth. I don't care.
It has to be those exact words.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourselves.
Go Mars yourselves.
Kind of reminds me of Armageddon when they're trying to blow up their thing. They haven't drilled the hole yet, and they're trying to blow up, remote detonate, and then they stop it, and then they call NASA and they go, NASA, you've got a problem. And it's basically, you can go fuck yourselves. We're going to drill this hole. We're going to get it done. Every time you mention it, just reminded me of that, because I watched Armageddon fairly recently.
Oh, yes.
It's one of those films just on TV all the time.
Did it make you cry? It should make you cry. It's so emotional.
Every day.
The way Bruce Willis kills himself for no reason.
Of course, yeah. He could have... There could have been so many other ways.
I still love the commentary track with Ban Affleck. Ban Affleck. That's our new motto. He's on the commentary track and he brings up the point. I think he must have read it on like some fan page. It's like,
right.
Why did they train the oil drillers to be astronauts? Why didn't they just train the astronauts to be oil drillers? Clearly one job is much harder than the other.
That's very true, actually. It's like, this is how... Well, yeah, they even say it in the film. It's just like, this is the best team. You're not going to be able to get these hillbillies. But it's like, but you're training these guys to be bloody astronauts. And some of them are like medically, mentally unfit for it and like physically unfit.
Yeah. But the astronauts, there's no way they can learn how to turn on a drill.
Of course not.
That's something entirely different. That could take 6 weeks of training. 6 to 8 weeks of training.
So good.
Yeah. So that's our tech bollocks for this week.
I like that. That was good.
You got to
we'll go into some.
Yeah, we got to go into
some
the next
gaming.
section. We don't stop now. It doesn't just end there.
What's that?
You don't get a break. We have to keep going.
Oh, we keep going.
Yeah, we
Of
keep
course we
going.
do.
Yeah.
We're going straight into gaming.
Finally. I've been waiting for this for like 2 weeks because I have no idea what happened at E3. So I have questions. I know
you've been waiting another year.
No, I know you've probably got a bunch of stuff written down. I don't give a shit. You have to answer my questions now. Number 1.
Fire your questions.
Damn it, I can't remember. Star Wars.
Tell
me about Star Wars.
They showed off. EA showed off the new Star Wars game.
Yeah.
They showed off what were they showing off? Some.
Did it have lightsabers?
Cooperative play.
Okay.
What did they show off on it? It was a little bit of the single player, but mainly multiplayer. So they just had like some of the maps. It was an outdoor map with some lush greenery, but you can get on all these like little different vehicles. The coolest part about it was you're still there, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just taking off my pants. I'm just getting ready for this. Tell me about the vehicles, Alex. Tell me about them real slowly.
No, all the Star Wars worlds come together. So all the episodes. So you can be Darth Maul, and then you can be Rey from the new ones as well.
Oh, okay. So it's like it's not just one. It's all the movies. It's everything.
It's all of them mixed together, and you can be Darth Vader, and that's just like
that's awesome.
Those are like special people, but actually during the press conference they showed off Darth Maul quite a lot, and he had like obviously the dual lightsaber things going on, and he's like a special guy on your team. So when you pick up that power, I think you become him, or you can press a key and then you become him, and he could take a lot of hits and stuff. But like they've upped the visuals of the game as well. Like it's built on the Frostbite engine, which is the same as Battlefield and the Battlefront from last year.
Okay,
but
the World War I one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, but they've upped the visuals. Like again, like it's starting to look better in the bloody films.
Yeah.
But the fact it's got the original music and everything, and that you can play with all these special characters. Because I think that's what people are criticizing in the first one was. I want to play as Darth Maul, or the new films are out. Like, why can't I be Rey? You know, I just watched that film. Like, why can't I be her? So they're really hitting the nail on the head because they know that people are going to be watching a new Star Wars film because it comes out around the same time. But they know there's going to be people that are going to go back and watch some of the originals and stuff. So to be able to select your character and say like, yeah, I just saw this film, I want to be this guy, is going to be sweet. And they've introduced a couple of new game modes as well, but they didn't focus as much on the single player. They just showed us some cooperative stuff, but mainly multiplayer. And I think they had
the single player is the Return of the Jedi story, isn't it? From the trailer. There was that the Black Squatted like special team, and they look at the Death Star blowing up. Yeah, that was it. And then it takes off her helmet. And it's a girl and.
Yeah, that's a single player. I don't know too much about it. All I know is like it is following its own storyline, but within the film story.
I've heard that it's canon. So I've heard that the story in this single player is canon, in that it'll tie into the movies.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
I don't know if it'll change anything in the movies, but whatever happens in this is an official Star Wars story.
Right.
So maybe they go off and I don't know, kick Luke Skywalker in the balls or something, and that's like, that's why Luke Skywalker has a limp. Or whatever. And did they say how many people can play it? Like, what's the multiplayer levels?
It's still 64. I know they get asked that a lot because as soon as you introduce like 100 or 200 people, it's really hard to manage the game. Because can you imagine just spawning and then suddenly you just die straight away, and you spawn and you just die because there's so many people on the map.
I'm pretty shit at the game though, so that could happen with like 4 people.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's why maybe you should play 16 or 32 because when you play a 64 multiplayer map, they really do think about like all the places that you can spawn and where spawn, come back to life and stuff. But so some of the maps are built for 16 players and they've designed them just for that. But I don't think they wanted to go above 64, and also like even the hardware, like the new Xbox and stuff. Maybe that can handle it, but like the PlayStation or the Switch can't or something. So not that it's coming out on the Switch.
And you said there's vehicles on the level, so like how much integration is there? Because I remember playing the PlayStation one we used to play all the time, and you could have some guy could be in the the chopper, whatever, like one of the starships, and one guy could be on the ground. On different ones, they'd have tanks or whatever. But I don't remember if they had all three. I don't think they ever had soldiers, tanks, and planes.
Oh yeah, they've got the X-wings, the TIE fighters, all of those guys. They've got the tanks. In this new one, they had
all on the same map.
All on the same map, yeah. They had some of the robots from Clone Wars. In fact, you could be. I think one of the fights they were showing, like everyone was like one of the Clone War robots. And then like Boba Fett was in there and stuff. And then suddenly you saw Darth Maul. Then you saw Rey. So it's like, shit, this is awesome. They're mixing all the worlds together. And then like it just visually looked awesome. They've got all the original soundtracks, so it's gonna be a real good treat.
That is awesome. That is great.
That was one of their that was like their finisher of the show. But what they also did was they had a 64-player match live in the studio, and they played it for like 3 hours straight.
Wow.
So they just had it live streaming, and people were just watching it for 3 hours straight. And then you can just basically learn about the game. So that was.
Although I heard
that was pretty sweet.
This is the one article I read of the whole week, because I think it popped up on one of my feeds. Was that EA's conference was a bit of a shit show.
To be honest, like not many of them were that great. Like EA's conferences are always a bit cheeseballs, and like they've always got their FIFAs and their Maddens and stuff. But people don't like EA just to start with. They don't like them. They just don't like them as a company.
We love your games, huge. Just don't touch us.
But like even then, like the games people love. So this Battlefront and Battlefield, people love them, but it's DICE, like a Swedish company, and EA just bought them. So EA just bought a really good company, and now they operate under EA. But people, they just don't like them because they keep buying these companies out and then like destroying the soul of the company because people leave. But they're redeeming themselves a little, and they're doing that with like Battlefront and Battlefield. But I mean, they criticize like a lot of their sports games, like they just come out every year, and it's just like, oh, now the jerseys have like this fabric physics. The court is.
I know. We grew up with that every year. EA were just they're such pricks.
You and your FIFA, like you used to buy FIFA a lot, didn't you?
Yeah, it's like every year you get the new FIFA, and you're like, God, just update something.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care if the grass looks like it's 3 inches longer or whatever.
Exactly.
I want the game to be better, you cheap bastards.
They did show off. So last year, FIFA had a single player, and you played a footballer called Alex Hunter, and apparently that went down really well. People loved the single player to it. So the new one, FIFA 18, is going to continue that story, and it's got like Ronaldo in the game as well. So the Ronaldo is like an actor in the game who is competing against you, Alex Hunter. But so that seems kind of interesting. And they've also put a single player on Madden. So Madden's huge. So that's now got its own single player. Whereas before it was just, I'm going to go in and have a game against my buddy or play like a simulated tournament.
Oh, yeah. They started that with FIFA. Yeah. You could you play your career and all that as like you pick your position. But
it's pretty sweet that they got these single players now, and you can go through like the FIFA one. I played a demo of it last year, and it was like he's in the trials for Manchester United, and if you don't get through, then you actually get bumped down, and you have to play like in another league and stuff. Or if you do win, then you go into Manchester United, but you're on the bench and you've got to prove yourself, and then it plays out a storyline. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to play much except for maybe receiver and quarterback in Madden, right?
Oh yeah, well yeah.
You're just going to play the blocker. You're like, okay, block.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to do.
End of the game. End of the game. Okay. Next move, block. And then, yeah.
Yeah. The other one, the standout one for me for EA is a game called A Way Out. And it's a prison break game. And this is the really cool part about it. It's only cooperative. You can only play the game cooperative.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So, and you and your buddy, it's got a good kind of story narrative to it. I think it's built on like that Battlefield engine, that Frostbite, so it looks great. But you've got to work together. To start with, you're not even in the same cell, but like you've got to like they take the toilet off, and then there's like a hole behind it, kind of thing, and you climb through. But then you meet your buddy. And then you've got to use, like, both of you have got to use your weight or something to get up against a wall and then lift the other guy up, and then little scenarios like that. So I don't know how else it's going to pan out. But the cool thing is you can't just You can't just turn your PlayStation on in the morning and say, like, I'm going to have a quick game. You've got to actually set up something with your buddy or play, with someone online.
Yeah.
So,
it sounds like a video game version of an escape room.
It really is, yeah. So, and then eventually, from the looks of the things in the trailer, you get out of that prison, but then you're on the run. So it's basically cooperative prison break. But it looked awesome, and the story and everything was it's like these two brothers or something. But it looked really interesting, and the whole cooperative only part stood out. And apparently, it was getting some good reviews from people, like from what some people got to play it, and they said it plays really great. So that was kind of EA.
That's a nice change from, like you said, like the big exclusives, and you have all your FIFAs and Maddens. Like, oh, that's probably one of those little indie companies they bought up, I guess.
It could have been. That's the thing. Yeah, someone who it's one of their smaller companies in there playing it. So, but that was pretty cool from EA. Like, it was okay. The conference. Everyone was looking forward to Battlefront 2, to be honest, and that was their ending.
That's all I cared about.
So yeah. So but it was nice to see a way out, the cooperative one from it.
So what was the biggest surprise of the weekend? Like, what was the thing was there anything that made people go, "Oh, holy crap, didn't see that"?
There was a couple of surprises. There was actually there was another company, Bethesda. So they actually bought ID Software, the guys that made Doom. They bought them like 5 years ago, but they own Doom and they own Fallout. But they're bringing out Doom VR. So they're bringing out Doom, the new Doom, which is great.
Holy
but
crap.
the entire game is in VR, and you teleport around like that Robo Recall one that we were playing. That's how you teleport. But like that, it's a scary game, but it's also got a lot of action in it and chainsaws and whatever. So that was quite a surprise, Doom VR, and they showed off a lot of Fallout VR. So I like that they were hitting the VR stuff, because you need big companies like that to really push like the visuals, because it's easy to kind of throw someone in a room with a couch and like a little TV and say, hey, you're in VR, you can watch Netflix in VR, and they're like, oh, that's impressive. But when you get these big companies saying like, you can play Doom, the new Doom in VR, and chainsaw someone in half and then go up here and look at the vistas on Mars, they're going to be like, oh my god, this is like, I really feel like I'm there. It's crazy. So that was a big highlight.
I just the thing about that Doom is I don't know how the mechanics will work, because Doom is so fast paced.
It is, and even in the demo that they showed, it looked a little awkward, because when you teleport, like even in Robo Recall, the one, like you kind of teleport, and then you got to look around to kind of get your whereabouts.
Yeah, it's disorientating.
It felt a little bit like that. That's how they're doing it, but maybe it's possible that they're slowing the game down just a tad to help with the VR-ness, but maybe because when you're in VR, you won't notice it is, because by the time you've kind of looked and found where you are, you're ready to shoot, and then they're a little bit slower, possibly.
Would that just work if you have like your right hand has a gun model, like they give you a little gun thing when you buy the game, and then your left hand just has the little control pad to make you run?
The only thing with that is people don't like to run like that because of motion sickness, because you're running and you're not actually running. So a lot of people get motion sickness, but a lot of developers choose 50-50. Some do like that, and they feel like you can move around a lot more, but you lose your audience because a lot of people feel sick. So not everyone has the VR legs for it. So I think you and I, we were quite used to it. Like, though that space one really made me like feel quite queasy, whereas you were just like, I'm grabbing hold of this, I'm doing this,
What about like a release button? So like you're constantly walking, but then you hold the button, you stop walking, you can turn around.
You could do, but then it becomes a bit like Time Crisis, where you're not on rails, but it's a little bit like if you're always stopping. I feel like you've got more control if you.
No. What I mean is, your avatar in the game is set up that they're constantly going to walk forward.
No, yeah, that's what I mean.
But you press stop, and you can turn and face a different direction. Let go of stop, and you'll start walking that way. So it's still full control. It's just that instead of having to press a forward button, it just gives you a standard like walking motion.
The only thing is then like maybe your right hand stick when you're shooting, maybe because you're always walking forward and you've got to hold on to it, you can never have like a left hand gun, or you can never interact with your left hands because you've got to always use that to go and stop, or
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tricky, man. Like, it's definitely a flaw. Because I mean, the ultimate thing is to have a 360 treadmill, and they're out there as well. But who's buying one of those for their, for their living room? And they probably cost a bomb as well. They probably cost like $2,000 just to have one.
I really want to see. Yeah, I want to see a good game set in like a starship. We went over this. We keep going over this.
I know. Yeah, I think this is your ultimate game, isn't it?
I'm just thinking to try and deal with the way VR has its limitations. It can't quite compete with the kind of games people play nowadays, because you can't play Battlefield in VR because you can't run, you can't crouch. Like, your physicality is kind of limited.
Yeah,
that's why I think like that Star Trek, was it
Bridge Crew?
Bridge Crew. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a way of going about it.
The cool thing with that one is I don't think you need to walk around so much in it, and you might not even walk around at all. You're just at your station,
Yeah. So if you just kind of take that, but make the environment you're in a little bit more interactive, you got to look around, you got to deal with stuff.
Yeah.
I think that could be a good way of like just getting people in until you figure out the bloody motion dynamics, or you make really cheap 360 treadmills.
Yeah, exactly. It might come to that. You never know, unless they crack this 360 movement. And you never know. Like a big company like this, Bethesda, they might have cracked it. They might have got even better. I think the best movement I've seen is that Robo Recall, because you're telling it where you teleport, but if you move the stick, you're also telling it what direction you want to face, which is pretty awesome. So you never know. Maybe they've evolved that even further in the Doom, and it might even be more intuitive. Yeah. So maybe it's like your head, you just have to turn your head to move it or something. But I think it's exciting. It's very hard to talk about VR because there's so few people have used it and know what we're talking about. But the fact that they're bringing these big games like Doom and Fallout is a big thing
for them. Next month we'll try and do some more reviews. Video reviews, and just so people can see the VR games as we're playing them. Yeah,
there's one that I want to do for sure. Is I want to just record you playing the Batman game, because it's very quick. Actually, it's not very long, and just your reaction to it, because you get to put on the bat suit and things like that. And then also there's
hang on, I gotta take off my pants again. I'm getting excited.
Take off your pants. And there's also another one I wanted to talk about, but I put that in the movie section, so you'll hear about that later on.
Oh, you big tease, you.
Tease.
All right, so the best thing then that was a good surprise. What was a shitty surprise? Give me a low point, Al. Tell me who screwed up. Point. Who needs a slap in the face?
Yeah, who needs a slap in the face? Exactly. You know what? I'd say Ubisoft, the guys that do like Far Cry.
I thought you were going to say me.
Well, I mean, every week. Every week for you.
Yeah.
Now, Ubisoft for me were boring. We got a new Assassin's Creed, which it's in Egypt. It's like, okay, sure. I'm just bored of those games. And then they have this Far Cry 5, which is just like, I don't know. It just looks like the other ones. And then they've got this deal with Nintendo, and they're doing. I don't know if you know about their like weird rabbit dudes. Like they've got these like crazy.
Hopefully, this is a game. This isn't like some weird, disturbing news story you're going to talk about.
They've got these little characters, and they call them like rabbits or something, and they're just like these nutcase little rabbits, like psycho rabbits.
Oh yeah, we played that game on the Wii.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you know the ones.
Yeah.
So they've got a partnership with Mario.
The one where you play the Wii and just look like you're jerking off all the time. Yeah, I get it.
I got that picture. Yeah, I think it was you, wasn't it?
It probably was me.
And so it's Mario and these rabbits, and it's like a turn-based little action game for the Switch, which is really interesting. So the fact that they're mixing Mario and like the Princess and Luigi in with these guys, but it's like a little turn-based game where you say like, Mario, you move here, and then my next step I'm going to be like jump over the wall, and then my next step is you shoot him. It's like a really weird scenario, but I don't know. Their whole conference is a bit boring. Like I didn't even take anything out of it and say like, oh, I'm going to buy that. Whereas like the Doom, I'm like, I'm probably going to buy that Doom. I'm definitely going to play that cooperative game. We're going to play Battlefront 2. But Ubisoft, like, I didn't take any game out of it and think, oh, this is going to be awesome. The new Assassin's Creed was their biggest one, but I don't care about the Egypt setting, and I've gone around in a bow and arrow. I've played Horizons, so then they weren't introducing anything like groundbreaking for me. And then the Xbox, good old Xbox. This is one thing that kind of pissed me off. Well, two things that pissed me off is, so they do have a new Xbox. Do you know what it's called? It's called the Xbox One X.
What? It's not called Scorpio.
It's not called Scorpio.
That's it. They get a slap in the face.
Yeah, they get a slap in the face, and it is
Xbox One box. What? I don't even remember it. Xbox One space box 34. What?
Yeah, pretty much.
Xbox One X.
Yeah, and you got Xbox One S as well, which is the one right now. That's like the slim one. But then you got Xbox One X.
Xbox One X.
It's super confusing. And guess what? It's $4.99 US. So that means it's going to be $5.99 Canadian, possibly more after tax. You're talking about close to $700 in Canada for a console, which, funny enough, doesn't play any unique games. You could just buy an Xbox One S for $250.
I could buy an iMac keyboard for that.
Oh yeah, one of those new keyboards.
Yeah, and $700 for so. I guess it comes down to, is it worth it? Like, did they show the 4K against what PlayStation 4K is? And you're just like, oh my God, it's like looking through a dumpster full of trash, and the other one looks like Van Gogh painting on top of a mountain. They did.
That's a good way of putting them. They did show that. They did say like these are true 4K, and it's got this, it's got that. The trouble is, and this is what I'm reading, and this is kind of how I feel as well, is they might have gone wrong, because I'm not sure how many people care about 4K. Because I don't have a 4K TV. You don't have a 4K TV. I don't actually know. The only person I know that has a 4K TV is my brother. And that's just because his TV died and he had to get one. And he was like, well, I'm not going to buy 1080 because it's 2017. I'll just, you can barely even find 1080p TVs now. But no one's rushing out to get a 4K TV. Yeah, no one's
replacing their TVs.
So, and I read a stat that only 10% of people have 4K TVs right now. So you could argue that like their market with the $700 console is just for that 10%, so it's not going to work out for them. It does make the older games and the 1080p games look better, but not like crazy amounts. Like you could put them side by side and walk by the TVs and not notice. You'd have to stop and go, oh yeah, okay, I can see that's a little bit smoother or whatever, you know. So $700. This is the thing. Sony have this PlayStation Pro, which is $450. The smart thing for them to do would be in November, because that's when the Xbox One X comes out. They just lower their console for $50, $75, and it's like, boom, there's another slap in the face. So
why did they not rename the damn console?
They should have renamed it to something like, I like the whole Sony naming. Pro. Okay, it's a Pro console. This one, it's just like, if you were to say to someone, do you want like you're on the phone with them, and you're like, do you want the Xbox One X, or do you want the Xbox One S? You'd have to ask, like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Whereas if you say to someone, do you want the PlayStation 4 or do you want the Pro? Immediately you're going to know, oh, the Pro must have more RAM or something, you know? So that's already confusing for people.
Yeah.
And
then
the price
Ultra.
And the price difference, it's like 350 price difference between the two.
So you could buy two PlayStations.
But they all play the same games, like as in the Xbox One S plays all of the Xbox One X games. So the only reason why you're spending $700 is so that it looks good on a 4K TV. So
does it look good? Like, is it really like a step up? Like, have they
kind
of positioned it so that in a year's time or 2 years' time it'll be the standard, or is it just like it's a little better?
No, it's really, really impressive for a console. It's got like faster hard drive, it's got faster CPU, memory, everything. It's actually smaller than the Xbox One S as well. It's the smallest Xbox. So it's like, it looks the business. It is the business. The only thing is, it's down to the developers. It's down to, say, like, if you and I are making a game and we're like, okay, we're going to bring it out on the PlayStation, we're going to bring it out on the Xbox and the Switch, and then suddenly Xbox go, oh, have you made it work for this new console? Like, have you made it look amazing? And we're like, well, that's going to cost us, like, this developer hours to really, you know, make sure we're using your console right and stuff. We kind of want to bring the game out in November, you know, and like if we have to, you know, make it look amazing on your console, that's going to be another 2 months you're going to delay our game and stuff like that. So, however, if the tools are easy to do that, and they don't have to do a lot of work, it could work out really nicely for them, because then it's like Assassin's Creed on PlayStation 4 it's like 1080p, but on Xbox it's 4K, and it's like that was easy for us to implement. So if they can do things like that, that will set them aside, because then people in like EB Games, if they could see, oh, that does look quite a lot better, But I'm not sure if it's going to work out like that for them. I think it might be more smaller results. It might be like, hey, his cape's going to flap in the wind a little bit more. Like, I'm serious, man. It's like, and then there's 3 more clouds and some birds. give us your 700. So,
did they bring out a game then? Do they have a new game that they said this is the one?
This is the only one. This is the other downside to them, unfortunately, is they showed off Forza Motorsport 7. It looked amazing. It was 4K, 60 frames a second. It was incredible. And it was running on the console and everything. But the takeaways from it was I can get it on Windows because it's coming out on Windows, and you can just get it on the Xbox One S. It's just not 4K. It's still 60 frames a second. It's just not 4K. So you can, they kind of spoil the reason for buying the console. It's like, oh, this looks great. Oh, I can play it on my current one? Well, I don't need to upgrade then,
Yeah.
Unless you're an enthusiast and you've got the 4K TV and you're like, I've got to have the best. And there are lots of people out there like that, but there aren't, millions and millions out there like that. So,
well, I guess then the other thing then is VR, because, we're the VR podcast, I guess. Is it connected for VR? Like, the point of having 4K then is then you have 2K visions.
They didn't mention that, and I think what they're doing is they're waiting to see how VR pans out, because it's still kind of early. So I think if in the next year or two, like if PlayStation VR, they're seeing if that dies or not. And if it dies, then it's like, oh, you've made that mistake, Sony, and you spent a lot of money on that mistake. But if it comes through, then Xbox are going to be like in partnership with Oculus, because they've been in partnership with them before. And then they'll have this
Microsoft on them, don't they?
And then they'll have like a really powerful system for it. So
interesting.
But, yeah. So
it seems like Xbox are going more long term.
I think so. Yeah. But then it's difficult. And then I like that all their games are on Windows, because I have a Windows computer. But it kind of puts down the Xbox console itself, because there's a lot of other people with Windows machines, and there's people like we were talking about in a tech talk where they're building these pro machines. But hey, if I can play Halo on that machine, there's no need for me to buy an Xbox now.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of competing against yourself.
Yeah, so it's a good thing and a bad thing. But the one thing that they did announce, which I thought was pretty awesome, is they're going to be bringing original Xbox games to the Xbox One system. So the cool thing about this is so there's only ever been 3 Xboxes: the Xbox One, the Xbox 360, the Xbox 360, and then the Xbox One. So you're going to be able to play pretty much every single game they've ever brought out soon. Like when they're slowly bringing out all the games that you can play. But I think that's pretty awesome that you're able to play any single game on all those systems. Whereas you've got a PlayStation 4, you can't play PlayStation 1, 2, or 3 games on that. You can only play like a few of them here or there.
Yeah, that's true. That could be a selling point, I guess.
Yeah. Can you imagine playing like Tony Hawk's Skateboarder 2 on the Xbox that came out in 1998 or something? It's like, that's kind of cool that you are able to play it at least.
Yeah, they're playing that loyalty market card. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, I like that, and they're actually got some good pricing for it as well. It's not like through the roof pricing or anything. So that was cool.
They're not doing a Nintendo. Oh, you want to play Mario again? Well, here's another $40, please. You son of a bitch.
Goodness me. Oh yeah, that Street Fighter just went down the shitter. Like, it reviewed so badly, and it was there's a gaming site out there called Eurogamer. I like read their articles a lot. The guy hated the game. He goes, I absolutely hate reviewing this Street Fighter game because of the price, solely on the price.
Right.
He's like, I'm on the Xbox store right now, and it is $2.99. I'm on the Switch store, and it's $49.99.
Oh my god!
And it's pretty much the same game, and they just had to it's just ridiculous. And just reading his review, he was so annoyed with it. But Nintendo had a pretty good showing. Have you heard of the game Rocket League?
I have not.
Rocket League's a really popular indie game that came out last year, and your cars, it's basically football and cars. So you've got to knock the ball with your car into the goal, and there's like 3 against 3. But with the cars, you can like drive up the wall and stuff. It was just super popular. It's like millions and millions of players. Still is really popular. So they announced that for the Switch, which is quite big news. They announced a Pokemon and Metroid game for next year. So that's also, they're just teasers, but it's cool. Like, everyone loves Pokemon. We know how popular that was on the mobile. And then Metroid. Everyone loves Metroid. And a lot of people have been waiting for a new one. So those are pretty cool teasers. So it lets people know, hey, there's going to be some games in 2018 to play. And then the big one they did was that Mario game, that Mario Odyssey. So it looks like Mario 64, which is awesome, because I think that's what everyone wants. The thing I just can't get over is they've put him in a human world, so he's running around with human beings. And I always see Mario in his own little cute mushroom world, you know? And, like, fighting Bowser and like, why is he running around with human beings? Like, what the fuck's going on? So
he's supposed to be a human being.
I think they've been smoking some of the good stuff. But I've got faith in Nintendo, and obviously Mario is their flagship guy. So I think that's going to be a pretty awesome game. And that is out in November. So that's going to be sweet. That's going to be like fighting like the Xbox systems and the Call of Duties and the Battlefronts. But it's going to do well, because like as soon as you see Mario, a new Mario game, and everyone loves Mario 64. And if like the reviews are saying this is like Mario 64, it's gonna do really well for the system. The only thing Nintendo need to do is they need to keep the games coming, because sure, they've teased this Pokemon and Metroid, but what else is there? You know, like they mentioned like a Captain Toad game and a Yoshi game, but I can't help but they're just like kind of pumping out the same shit. Just like, oh, we've played a side-scrolling Yoshi game. We've played that before.
It's like like the Hollywood system. They're just rebranding, rebooting, making sequels, reimagining. It's like people need a new game.
Yeah,
don't give me Assassin's Creed 5. I don't care.
Well, that's the other interesting thing is EA with FIFA. So FIFA on the Switch is not using the same engine. So it uses the Battlefield engine. They're downgrading it to like some other engine. So it's going to look like the Xbox 360 version. So that's kind of shitty. But at the same time, it's still pretty awesome to play an Xbox like 360 type game, which still looks pretty good on the go, like you're on the train, you know, and you're able to play that. So we'll have to see how that pans out, but I think a lot of people are expecting it to be like up there of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One type of FIFA, but they're like, no, unfortunately we had to dumb it down and stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. But FIFA is always a big seller on all consoles, and if you can play FIFA on the train on this big screen against someone else, then it looks pretty awesome. It could do well. So
it could be a good selling point, yeah.
It could be.
It could go down that route of like the Pokemon Go. Like if you can get more of a community vibe to your games, that might be a way of Nintendo hooking more people into getting that Switch.
Totally.
Because they sure shit aren't doing it with the amount of games they're releasing.
Take it off the shelves. Take it off the shelves. Switch. And then lastly, just Sony. I'm a big Sony fanboy, but they didn't really do too well. They showed off lots of little games here and there. They showed off God of War, which was great. I knew we were expecting that one.
Remake, sequel. Actually, there is one remake I know that they released. New one. I saw because it got a bit of attention.
Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, I got that one. That's a huge game for the PlayStation 3. So that no one was expecting that. That was a well hidden secret. So when that was shown off, there was a lot of happy people. Which was sweet. And then the other good thing, even though I don't have PlayStation VR, they showed off like 5 or 6 PlayStation VR games on the main stage, which was really impressive. So it's good to see them backing it, because there's people out there who have spent $600 on a headset, and if they've been known to back out on their like hardware, because they've got like this little Vita console, which is like a mobile console, and that came out. As soon as it came out, it didn't do too well, and like 2 years later, they stopped showing it at conferences, and everyone's like, "Whoa, we just spent $300 on this thing, and you're not even showing it off anymore." So, a lot of people were fearing that they were going to do
Shut up!
VR. So,
Shut up! All right, we'll kill you. We've enough money. We can kill all of you. We're Sony.
Exactly. Well, gotcha. So they showed off some good games, and then they showed off like lots of other little games here and there, and they ended on Spider-Man, which looked phenomenal. Like it looked really, really good. Right. So
now I haven't played a Spider-Man game since I think it was PlayStation 2.
Oh, really?
And that was the one that had the amazing system of web swinging. It was just the most intuitive thing. You could just hit, like, it didn't make any sense because you'd swing from things that weren't there and you couldn't see them. But it just got you around the city. And once you got into like the rhythm and the groove, and you know, they must have copied that. Like everyone copies Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
But ever since they made that Spider-Man game, I think every other Spider-Man game since then, they kind of did something new.
Totally.
And everyone's like, just do the one that worked.
I know. They are copying that exact system. This is the good thing, though, because I know you and I, with the movie, we're like, Sony, what are you doing? It's not Sony. They've farmed it out to a team called Insomniac, and they've done a lot of really good games on the PlayStation. So it's in really good hands, which is great. It's just Sony doing their branding shite.
Yeah.
They'll probably promote shit out of the game just like they are with Homecoming, but I'm glad they're not actually making the game like internal team.
When's it coming out then?
So it's not until 2018, but I think they said it was early 2018, so it could be like a February game. Basically the same.
And that's an exclusive, isn't it?
Oh, that's exclusive. Yeah. That's going to be.
See, now that tips at the PlayStation again. I'm like, I don't know if I want an Xbox now. I like Spider-Man.
It looked really, really good. So hopefully they come through. But overall, just to go back on the E3 predictions, I did predict that the Xbox is going to be $499. And it was. I predicted that they were going to show off God of War, which I got right. I didn't get Nintendo right. I thought they were going to show off Smash Brothers, but they didn't. Instead, they did Pokemon and Metroid. And in EA, we kind of knew that it was going to be Battlefront 2 and stuff. But I was kind of happy about the $499. I'm like, yeah, I got that right. But at the same time, I'm like, I want Microsoft to do well. I just think that's too high. But they've done it in the past, and they might just lower the price. Like after 6 months, they might be like, oh, we're getting hammered here. Like, we need to lower the price. So, we'll see. But,
well, that's pretty good. Good job on the predictions. My prediction didn't come through. I predicted that the chairman of Sony would drive a truck through the Microsoft crowd, but that didn't happen. just throwing out PlayStations and be like, here, PlayStation's for everybody. They're so much cheaper than your Xbox.
That's one thing to note, actually. They did a really good job on... Sony, did a really good job on their presentation. So whenever they presented a game, they showed it off. But in the studio, where everyone was sitting, they had like a live set going. So if there was ever water going, they'd have a waterfall like in the studio. And if there were flames, they'd get like flames to be going around. And then there was this one game where there were like these dead bodies in the game just hanging from the ceiling, and then they had these actors just hanging from rope in the main hall. So, and then all
this
the
what
lights
happens
and
if you bring up that stupid console that we will not mention. You mean the Viva? Yeah. Shut up, you're dead. Hang him from the roof.
Yeah, exactly. Hang him. But they did a good job. Like, I mean, because everyone there have been waiting hours to come in and stuff. So it kind of elevates their presentation a bit to the next level. And they always play like live music and stuff. They've got like a live orchestra that plays along with all the things.
Here's a quick thing. Is it a bit weird that now we have so many of these damn conferences? Like, that's the way you have to release games and shit now.
Well, this is kind of funny, actually, because I know that you love Red Dead Redemption and Rockstar. And Rockstar are so big, they don't ever go to these conferences because they don't give a fuck. Because they're like, oh, we'll just announce the game whenever we want. So I feel like E3 is just like, it's good for business. It's good for the industry. But... like PlayStation are even branching off and they're doing their own one. So every Christmas they do PlayStation Experience, and I think it's going to go down that way. I reckon another few more years of E3, and I think everyone's going to have their own. Like Xbox will have like Xbox Reveal like every June, but I'm not sure if they'll all be together.
I'm guessing this whole thing started after Apple started doing their Apple things, right?
It started around the same time because they've actually Apple's been going for a long time. But the E3, I'm not sure how long it's been going for, but it's been going for about like 15 to 20 years, for quite a while.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like everybody just decided you got to be Steve Jobs in it. You can't.
I know.
You can't just release something. No, you got to have a big stage and some guy walking around telling you how crap your old computer is that you bought 6 months ago.
I know, but it generates hype and people love it. And I have to admit, like I love tuning into them as well. But when you get a shitty conference, you're just really
gutted. That's what I mean. You're just like. we're expecting like these great conferences from like these guys who spend 20 hours a day programming machines. And
I know. Like, and this is the tough part as well. It's like they're trying to finish the game, and you know that someone comes into their office in like May or April and goes, "We need a trailer for E3." Yeah. They're like, "Fuck the trailer. We're trying to finish the game."
Yeah.
And then you need a team just to make that trailer, or we need people to play the game. So, that you have to make a demo, and it's not easy to make your own little contained demo while you're trying to make the real game. So you have to set off and make take 10 people off your development team to make a demo for E3. But you can argue that if your game is at E3 and it's reviewing really well and people are playing it, it's going to generate even more buzz.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's just weird. That's our culture now of like panels and Comic-Cons and E3s.
Oh
and,
yeah. I never used to be into the Comic-Con stuff, but now I really enjoy even watching. I don't watch those live as much. I usually watch the highlights on YouTube, but I enjoy actually looking at them, like especially that Guardians of the Galaxy one.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see somebody do something a little new.
Yeah, I think it will happen eventually, but it's like one of those things. It's like we're waiting for Apple to innovate a little bit, and it's as soon as that happens, I guess everyone else will follow, but. Yeah.
$17,000 Xbox coming next year.
Yeah. In Chrome Black.
All right. So, what are you most excited for then? Not much, I guess. Just Battlefield.
I'm excited for the new Battlefront. I'm excited to see the new Mario game, even though I haven't got a Switch. I'm still not interested in a Switch, but I'm excited to see the Mario stuff. And then God of War got me very interested, but I don't think that's till 2018. So, honestly, I think. This Christmas it's going to be Battlefront 2, probably the new Call of Duty, seeing what that's like, and hopefully like maybe Doom VR and a couple of VR things.
Well, when we have our all-night Battlefront 2, as we prepare for the new Star Wars movie, I'm going to make a prediction that if I can get into a ship, even if we're on the same team, I'm crashing the ship into you.
Give it a go.
I just want to see it happen.
Yeah.
Just dive bomb with an X-Wing right into the back of your head.
And we should try the Our Way Out, that cooperative EA game as well.
Yeah,
see if we can get
that'd
out
be
of
pretty
prison.
cool.
So,
if not, there'll be no podcast next week.
Exactly.
We're still on the game. Stuck. We can't get out of it.
That'd be hilarious. Delayed because of the game. It's like we're still in prison. But yeah, that's pretty much the round out of E3. And I don't think we'll be hearing any more games news until August. I think there's a games show. In Germany. The Germans love their games, so there's one there, and then it will be kind of leading up to the good old November season where all the games come out for Christmas.
Yeah, we'll just have to play some more Wipeout between now and then, make more videos.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Movies? Ready to go?
Oh
yeah, let's get some movies.
On to some movies. A smaller list for me. Obviously, games was a big one. I was just going to say I felt like I've been talking.
Do you want to start with news, or do you want to start with a quick spoiler review of Wonder Woman now that you've seen it? Which way you want to go?
Let's do a little bit of the spoiler of Wonder Woman. We could talk about that. I know we were talking about that fresh. Like you already had your thoughts on it, but man, I've had some time to think about it. I saw it like
it's like 2 weeks for me,
or actually more than a week ago. So I really enjoyed it, man. I thought it was great. There was some, like, I've got written down here some of my like favorite moments. The ending for sure wasn't the best, but compared to their other DC films, I was definitely digging it. I can't help but kind of quote what you keep saying, as in like it was like a standard. It's a good place to start for them, or I guess start again. But what were you saying the other day? You said, yeah, it's just like an average movie. It's like it's nothing amazing, but it's not shit either, kind of thing. But does is that good in like today's? It's 2017. You were saying like it would have been a good film 10 years.
Yeah, like this is like phase 1 Marvel kind of stuff.
Yeah, I almost feel like I was saying to your mate yesterday. That I feel like they're almost starting from scratch with this one again. It's like obviously Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel are out there, but I feel like they're almost like, okay, clean slate. We've had a lot of haters, but the start of this one, and people are going to care about Wonder Woman, because that's one thing I took from this is like I care about that character now. So when I see her in Injustice League, she's actually going to help that film, and I think she's going to help that for a lot of other viewers as well. Though I'm not sure how well she's going to do without maybe Chris Pine being in it, because those two, their relationship was pretty awesome. Like even at the end, it kind of got me,
right. Like
got me
he was kind of like, that was my worry. Like I saw it and I thought this is great, and then I'm like, oh, did Chris Pine make that great? Yeah, I know. Yeah, like without him, how is she going to be? You know, what like. I think I asked you before, but now that I've seen it, but I kind of I was thinking about like this review and how I'd kind of go through it. But what was your favorite scene and what was your least favorite scene? Because I want to bring out something great from it, but then also the not so great. And I know there might be more not so greats or whatever, but what was the one thing that you were like, hey, that was pretty awesome. Like I really liked the way they did that. And then even if it was just like an action scene or whatever, and then what was the that's awful. Like I can't get over. Well, that was kind of the thing
that
when I was thinking about it going back, I was like, in terms of action scenes, there's only one that's great, and that's there's more than one action scene, but the only one that really stands out as being a Wonder Woman scene is when she's on the trenches, and that's really good, and it's it's very well done, and it's not like she just wins the war because she has to get help from the other guys.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice twist on the superhero thing. And she still doesn't know all her powers at that stage because she's getting stronger as the fight goes on. It goes into the town. But as I was thinking about it, I'm like, that's pretty much the only fight scene outside of the final battle thing. Like, there's the fight on the island. And that's...
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was,
and then there's the little bit in the alleyway, you know? Nice throwback to the original Superman.
Yeah. Yeah. With her blocking the bullet,
and then that's it. That's and then you're in the trenches, and then the film's already getting towards the end. It's racing towards the finale, and it's not like I'm not saying all films should have big action things, but it's like that's the one big action cool moment that she does something in. So you could just always pick that. I think everyone will pick that as being like the standout moment in the movie.
It's definitely, it definitely is, and I think a lot of people, like, it was in the trailer a lot, just as she's ducking out. I was saying, another thing we were saying was just before she was going out, I think, what did they say in the film? Like, no man, you can't go there,
it's no man's land,
this trench or something like that, you know. And I think everyone was expecting the cheesy line of her to go out and say, like, I'm no man, because what film was that in? It was like, I'm no man. I was in bloody Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
That's something different.
Eowyn
anyway.
says that.
Yeah. But I was kind of expecting that, to be honest, and then for her to run out. But the fact she's just like, no, I've got to go out. I've got to do this. These people are dying.
That's probably my favorite bit. It wasn't that moment. It was It was earlier when they're going to the war. They're walking across the bridge, and there's all these, not prisoners of war. All these casualties of war, all these soldiers that are injured walking back. And just Gal Gadot, we're never going to pronounce her name right, is it? Poor woman, like Gal Gadot. Gal, she just plays it very well where it's all in her face, and she's just this very naive kind of her first connection with man's world, and then seeing just this horrible war that she's never really had to deal with. Like on Themyscira, she's trying to fight. She's trying to be a warrior, but she's never seen what war is actually like. And then she sees this consequence. And it's just that moment. I was like, oh, actually, I like this movie. It's got a little heart to it. It doesn't do a great job, but it sure as shit did a better job than a lot of superhero films of being like, oh, you know. This is what a hero's like. A hero sees the world and they can't make it better, but they feel bad. Yeah.
No, that's a very good point, actually. For me, that island at the beginning was a big highlight. Like I'm not sure why, but I loved the fact that those Germans were kind of coming in. It's a bit odd that they just suddenly found it, but I do love that. you know, like her diving into the water, finding him. I had completely forgotten about the lasso.
The lasso
or,
of
you
truth,
know, the truth thing or whatever. Yeah. I was like, when that got whipped out, I was like, oh my god, yeah, I forgot about this. But yeah, I just loved that those Germans coming onto the beach and then the women getting on their horses. And I don't know, there was something about that land and the women being all kind of high and mighty. Like, they kind of reminded me of the 300.
Right, yeah, it's
you know,
got that kind of feel of ancient warriors and all that, yeah.
Yeah, there was something cool there. It was a little bit cheeseballs. Like, I knew that her mentor was going to probably get shot or whatever. But that was my favorite scene, actually. Just them protecting their land and stuff, and then her saying like, "Well, I'm going out" and stuff. But yeah, that was one of my
the
highlights.
bad part for the movie for me was basically the last 20 minutes.
Yes, I think having the bad guy as he was, like, in that human form, and just I didn't even like him that guy. Just the way he was portraying the what was
Ares,
the god again?
The god of war, yeah.
Ares, that's it, yeah. And then I know we chatted about this, but Wonder Woman with her ex, you know, like
clings
when
her bracelets,
clinged the things together just to blast him away. And I think you really hit a nail on the head where that's all she had to do.
That's the thing that really bugged me.
To
like,
defeat him.
I think I said this to somebody else, and I liked the movie, but there was no message to it. And then the person, they said, "Oh, there is a message to it. It's all about how men aren't good or bad, and love will conquer hate," because that's what she actually says as she's walking through the fire. And I'm just like, that's not a message. That's just dialogue. You can't say what a movie's about. You have to show the character going through the lesson. And I guess like people are saying, because Dr. Poison was there and she didn't kill Dr. Poison. I'm like, Dr. Poison deserved to die. Dr. Poison killed that whole town of people.
Yeah.
And then Steve Trevor's the one who sacrifices his life to stop the poison. And it's like, it's one of those things of like, it seems like it's kind of there, but it's not. Because then she defeats Ares, not because she saved Dr. Poison's life, which would make that choice reasonable. She just throws the tank away and then clinks her bracelets and kicks the crap out of him.
I know, yeah. It wasn't
especially because the whole point of that weird thing of the sword is the god killer, but then it's not the sword. And I'm just thinking, like, your mother knew this and she put you in danger for what? Because the bracelets can kill Ares, which she's had her whole life. Like, what's the problem? I don't understand why Ares was so dangerous that Zeus couldn't even kill him. But then Wonder Woman can do
suddenly, it. She's got these bracelets and she's all good. That's the funny thing is, it's like, the movie was great, and then the last 20 minutes is the last thing you see about it, and you go and mess it up like that. Like, I know it had other flaws in it, but it's the last thing people are going to see.
Well, the very last thing you see is when she jumps out
like
off the roof of whatever it is in France. That was kind of weird too, wasn't it?
Right. And then it's like what you're saying, like, what? Like, from the Justice League and all that. Like, what's she been doing?
That's the more nitpicking thing. Like, that's something that just because I've sat on it for 2 weeks. I'd say this about the film. I'll watch it again. I don't mind watching it again at all. So that's a good plus sign. Yeah. If someone said, it's on, I might not watch it.
Yep.
But if it was on, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, this is all right. I'll put this on. It's got some good moments and whatever.
Yeah, I'd definitely watch it again, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, so. But as you think about it, it's like, it's been 100 years. So in World War I, there was this woman who walked across the trenches. There was this god who fought on this airport, and there were witnesses to that who survived.
Yeah.
And then there's maybe 100 years where she might have been fighting as well.
Yeah.
But how does that work in the universe we've seen with Batman and Superman? And how has Batman never heard of this magic woman fighting during these wars? And how is it that when Zod was there, she didn't turn up when Superman's fighting and all this kind of stuff or whatever.
No, I know.
Like they're the kind of nitpicky things. You could be in Paris, you might not be able to make it, but it's just like they're kind of retroactively putting people into this world.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have the Marvel universe, they did set it up that Captain America was in World War One. Then he disappeared. He's
just frozen in ice.
Yeah. But they made a connection of that. You know, Tony Stark's dad worked with Captain America.
Sure.
So Tony Stark kind of grew up with all these stories and he kind of dislikes Captain America. And the Hulk was because Bruce Banner was trying to replicate the serum kind of thing. And it's just, with DC, there's far too many unanswered questions.
Oh, it's definitely, it's like they've been sitting in different boardrooms during all the movies and saying this. Like, I'd actually be really interested to see how Marvel links their movies so well, because they really do a great job. Like, it's not perfect, but they do a great job of, it's almost like, we've made Iron Man, here are some of the key moments, make sure the next film hits these key moments. Okay, next film, I don't even know what it was it Thor or was it
I think Captain America.
Yeah, and then make sure it hits some of these moments because we've explained them already, you know, and they must have some big sheet or whatever printed out on a wall, and they're like, okay, you know, this, and that. Whereas DC, I feel like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this happens? And then it's like, yeah, that would be cool, put it in.
That's definitely the DC mentality. Wouldn't it be cool if...
Yeah, exactly. So they're not really thinking about
what if the Joker had tattoos?
One thing...
and was 30 years younger than Batman.
You mentioned earlier on about Christopher Reeves with that moment. I read about another one which I forgot. I didn't notice it when I watched it, but when she was trying to go through the swiveling doors with her shield.
The shield and the sword going.
That's also a callback to him because he tries to go through the swiveling doors with his briefcase.
Right, when he first gets to Metropolis.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool as well.
Yeah, they definitely made her on the good point, they definitely did a great job of making her very innocent and not naive, just kind of good and decent. So she sees the best in things, and that kind of ignorance of the world that you can't just walk around with a sword and why don't these clothes fit? That works. Yeah. That's a very tried and trusted method of making a character likable. Like that's how Disney do their movies.
Right.
You watch a Disney movie, usually the star of it's a klutz. Because it's just it warms the audience's heart seeing this person struggling, and it's funny and it's all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it goes back to that problem now of like, that's great. How does that work in Justice League when she's 100 years older? Like, what character? You can't have that character. You can't have her be that soft and delicate. And it's just that kind of thing of they're not planning it. They're all sitting in different boardrooms.
Exactly. I think so.
And what was the other thing I was going to bring up? Yeah, the weird thing for me was also, if you go 100 years, how has nobody else found the island?
Oh yeah, that's annoying. Because I mean, they just drifted in there. So in all that time, like they just drifted in. So someone else must have, or you know. I mean, you can argue that maybe some random might have gone. It was a war, but you know, it was World War One, so someone could have drifted in World War Two.
It's somewhere around Greece, yeah. So
yeah,
even with just like airplanes and that.
Well, yeah,
like the last 100 years, Google Maps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it reminded me of Skull Island.
Oh yeah, it's just like no one can get there. Why not?
Yeah, that's smog.
It's cloudy. Yeah. What are you talking about? It's cloudy. We go everywhere else in the world.
I know, yeah. And it's just like, I think they even hit the Google Maps thing on there as well. They were just like, we can't see. It's always cloudy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right. But overall, like, I was a fan of it, and I think the fact that I would want to go see it again, I wouldn't go and pay in sort of cinema, but when it comes out on DVD, I'll look forward to, like, I'd look forward to our commentary on it. Yeah. I'll look forward to watching it again. Can I be like, I missed that moment, or I want to rewatch this one. This was cool, you know. And then we don't know some of those special features. They might have a lot of cut out scenes. I don't know, or they might even have their own director commentary, which would be pretty sweet to watch.
Yeah,
but I would probably give it around the 7 out of 10, maybe 6.5 out of 10 mark.
That seems what everybody's been giving it. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. I'd probably be a bit lower, like 5.5, 6, just because that ending just really bugs the hell out of me. You had this whole character dealing with war and how awful it was, and
you're
just like, oh god, like at that one point where she's fighting him and he's in that weird, stupid suit, and it's just fire all around, and I'm like,
yeah.
Come on, guys! Like, did you learn nothing from every other film you've made?
They also blew all their CG budget at the end there as well.
Yeah,
that was pretty crazy amounts of CG,
and it looked bad.
Yeah, it was so. I have to admit, like, I don't know what studio they're going to, but hopefully not the Cyborg studio.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say to you. Like the CG now and again, like a couple of times it got a bit plasticky.
Yeah, you mentioned that in your other review or your other preview that you saw a couple of moments, and I saw them as well. Like, I wasn't even looking out for them because I forgot you said that. But as soon as I was watching, I was like, "Oh, I can see what they did there," and you're not supposed to ever see that.
No. But overall, yeah, it's a good step. It's a step forward, not a step back.
Yeah.
I just when you mentioned it there, I just thought that's a bit weird. Not weird, but Marvel have the Netflix deal. And, Batman, Superman, Suicide Squad, they're not on Netflix.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is somebody else going to step in and try and get the DC exclusive streaming rights? Like Amazon or somebody?
That's true, yeah. Yeah, and it could be someone like Amazon, or it could even be an Apple, like, because I know they're trying to do their own little TV thing as well.
Yeah. But overall, we liked Wonder Woman, but it's not the greatest film of all time.
Yeah. It's, I don't want to say, it's kind of harsh, but it's good for a DC film. So
yeah,
that's right.
Well, that's they made their bed. They can lie in it. That's what they're dealing with now.
They're making amends. So hopefully,
yeah.
So
if we jump back over to Marvel, because we're Marvel fanboys and we love them.
Oh yes,
they kicked off their plans for conquering the whole cinema world with the new Black Panther trailer.
Oh man. That trailer, dude! Like whenever they release a trailer, I'm always really, really surprised how different or how unique they make it look, and that is just awesome. Like the way they just made that look so different. I was expecting like I don't know, I was expecting like a little bit of a Captain America in there and a little bit of like some Thor or whatever. But like the world they captured there is just so awesome, so unique. Like
and I like how they explain that. Like.
Another
Take out Wonder Woman. They didn't explain it. Like, how the hell's your island still there? But in this, they explain it in that it's so deep in the jungle that they've made out this false idea that they're all just farmers and poor.
Yeah,
but they've got this super tech right in the middle.
But there's like a city in there, isn't there, or something?
Yeah, Wakanda City, like right in the middle of it, the capital city.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome actually to see. Like we're just going through that waterfall and stuff. I was like, because I don't really know much about the Black Panther story. But.
Yeah, the Black Panther is kind of like a passed on thing, and like spoilers. That's not even a spoiler because it's not the movie. There's a scene in it where he's fighting these guys in the jungle. But if you look at his suit closely, it kind of looks like a different Black Panther suit.
Oh, okay.
I think that might be his dad. And it's kind of like showing how he passed on the mantle of the Black Panther.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah.
And as far as I can get from like the synopsis, like I hate trailers, and this is a teaser, so I don't think I'll watch anything after this. But I think the general idea is something like, now that he's the king, what's his name? Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
He's challenging them for the king.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what his role was.
Yeah, there's different tribes in Wakanda, and now they're kind of the king is dead, so maybe I should be in charge. I think that's what the movie's going to be about.
Interesting. And his dad dying was in Winter
Soldier,
Civil War. No, Civil War.
Civil War. He was killed by the Winter Soldier. Yeah, Bucky killed him.
That's right. Yeah.
No, Bucky didn't kill him. He thought Bucky killed him, but it was Zemo.
It was the other guy.
Oh, Christ!
We got fooled ourselves. We got fooled ourselves.
We didn't put our face recognition system on.
Now that it didn't say anything to me before the trailer, and as soon as the trailer dropped, I was like, "Oh, they've done a great job there." But I'm gonna try and adopt the same thing and wash
yourself clean.
Just wash myself to watch less trailers because it's like you say, like by trailer 3, you can piece the movie together.
And this is I haven't watched any of the Spider-Man trailers. I'd watched the first one. Then I was forced to watch the goddamn second one in the cinema.
But yeah, because you're at the cinema,
Yeah, and I couldn't get past. Usually I'd run out, but there was a big queue and I couldn't bloody run out. That's what I do in the cinema, people. If I'm in there and I don't want to see it, I'll put my fingers in my ears, but I look like a crazy person. I couldn't do it this time.
Yeah, but sometimes you just got to do that.
From what I've heard, there's now there's an Audi trailer out. There's like a basketball trailer. or like not trailers, but like the Sony marketing, everything.
I've seen the basketball one, and I think the Audi one just dropped today. And that's something that's like kind of a problem that we have with it, isn't it? Is like Sony are like really throwing the movie out there, but way too much. It's like
it's that kind of like once bitten thing. Like that's what they did with Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, if it's good,
they were sending that like everywhere. You know, they were stamping that on babies' foreheads. It's a little bit anywhere they could market that bloody thing.
It's worrying that they're doing that because you got Guardians of the Galaxy 2, you've got some posters up at like Union Station, and you've got some TV ads. Sure, and it's a great film. But with Spider-Man, why are they pumping it all over the place? Like, is it not very good?
Yeah.
Or and they're just trying to get more and more, because they've got a media budget and it must be quite high. So maybe they're spending more money so they get more people there to pay for the shit film. I don't know.
Yeah, like they just want to get that opening weekend big money before people go, oh, it's shit.
Yeah.
Which is something that I can just quickly jump onto is Transformers. I don't know if people know how this works. Do you know the review embargo system?
Yeah, well, you're not allowed to review it until a certain date.
Yeah, same as games. Yeah, they send them out the previews and then they...
Yeah.
So generally it's a week. They give you a week. Would be a good indicator. That's the normal time because that's enough time to get the hype going.
That's the same, like pretty much the same with games.
Yeah, and then like every now and again, if a studio is really confident or the hype is really big, like they had with The Force Awakens, I think it was like 2 weeks beforehand they were releasing the thing.
Right.
But the closer and closer it gets to the day of release, and the embargo hasn't been lifted, it's generally a sign the film is shit.
Oh yeah, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, so I think it was like 3 days before The Mummy came out is when their reviews were allowed.
Okay.
And that got bad reviews across the board.
Yeah.
And tomorrow is when Transformers comes out, and they only released the reviews today.
Oh, wow.
And the current rating on Rotten Tomatoes is 12%.
Oh, 12.
Yeah. Like it's
God.
That's a bad sign. So for me, it's a case of if you look at the Transformers spending, they were just obviously they've got advertising and they've got sponsorships and car deals and all this, and there's Transformers everywhere you look. It's on every TV show because they know they just have to get that opening weekend $150 million whatever,
right?
Because a week from now everyone's gonna be like, that was crap.
Yeah, but then they'll get like toy sales, they'll get DVD sales later, but probably not so much because people know it's shite. But still. So that's what I'm worrying about Spider-Man is like, are they just that worried that it's not good, that they're going to throw it out? Do you know what the embargo on that one is?
No, because that's not out till next month.
It's not until for a while, yeah.
But the thing, like, you'd see the Spider-Man and I'm like, it can't be that bad. They have Robert Downey Jr. in it.
Yeah, and it's not...
And it's Marvel.
It's like Marvel doing it, yeah. So it could just be a case of Marvel made the film, but Sony are doing the marketing, and Sony are like, hey, you guys done a great job. We just want to plug this. Like, we're proud of this, so we're going to plug it.
Yeah, I can't remember what the deal is, but I think it's nothing to do with pride. I know that much. I think Sony get the money from the movie, but Marvel keep the rights to the merchandise.
Okay.
Might be the other way around. I can't remember. No, I don't think Marvel gave up the Spider-Man merchandise.
Right.
But yeah, because that's why Sony kept making the shitty movies.
Oh, wow.
So that they could keep the goddamn contract or whatever.
Well, this actually goes nicely in with that little teaser that I had earlier on.
Oh, yeah.
Because guess what? Spider-Man virtual reality experience is coming out.
Oh, man.
Sony are backing that as well. It looks good. It doesn't look amazing. It's definitely not as good as Batman. But you do get to put on a Spider-Man suit and you get to fling the webs and everything and move and throw objects around, and you get to kind of go up, by the looks of things, like up high on a building and look around the landscapes. The graphics look pretty good, like whereas Batman, they're like friggin' amazing. But it looks kind of cool that you get to put on a suit and you do the whole web thing, you know.
It'd be cool if they did it so you could crawl on the floor, but that's a wall. That'd be awesome.
And you go up the wall, that'd be sweet.
Go up the wall.
But that should be out real soon, so we'll do the Spider-Man one and the Batman one because you mentioned earlier on. It's good to get a reaction of like how people react to VR, and you haven't played either of those.
Yeah.
So we'll get your reaction to it.
I finally get to be a superhero.
You're gonna love the Batman.
Yeah,
like
I'm sure it'll be pretty quality. So. And yeah, we're back on the point. The Black Panther trailer looks pretty damn good.
Damn. Yeah.
We got
good
Andy
job
Serkis back as Claw.
Oh yeah.
He's back from South Africa with his clawfish. Cuttlefish. I'm cuttlefish.
You don't even like fish, though.
Don't even like fish, do you, Andy?
Don't even like fish.
It looks good, and I got that. And it's not even a. It looks more. I'm just thinking of the scene where he jumps from one cart. He jumps from one cart to the other.
Yeah,
that was me coughing up a cuttlefish for anyone listening. That looks like really like down to earth, kind of that Captain America Winter Soldier kind of action.
Yes,
just like a guy who's like a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I think they've got the right kind of mentality with that, and obviously, then you've got the Wakanda scenes, which are just these amazing, African super futuristic cities and stuff, but they've still got tribal costumes and everything. And it looks fantastic. The only problem with that whole release moment was the day before the trailer came out. They released the goddamn poster, and the poster. Oh man, that poster was awful. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, you really weren't happy about it. It looks boring to me, but it didn't stick out as much. But
it looks like someone photoshopped his head onto the costume. I'm like, what are you? He's in the costume in all the movie.
Yeah,
take a photo of him doing that. It's
funny. Sometimes you have this massive production, and you go and mess it up on just a small little detail, like going back to Doom, when that new Doom, so that Doom VR is based off a brand new Doom, but when they brought out the cover to it, it was just I can't remember what it was now, but it was like some soldier in a suit, and everyone was like, "This looks shite," because they wanted it to look like the original Doom, the cover of the original Doom. So they actually went and redid the whole cover. So I wouldn't put it past, like, if they get enough people for Black Panther and everyone's like, "This looks shite," they might redo it, or at least they probably got 3 or 4 versions. They might just switch to another one.
Yeah, but I hope so.
Yeah,
and again, it's only like the pre-teaser poster, but it's like, God damn,
true.
That's like,
but it might be, if that's the one they're using and putting up again through a city to promote it or something. Even if it's a teaser one, they might go, we'll use that. But if they get enough people complaining,
another piece of Marvel news, real quick, is that Chris Evans was in an interview, and he says that after Avengers 4, his contract's up and he probably won't be Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we're back in the world of Captain America dies in Infinity War.
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah, I figured that he wouldn't do too many more. And, but Captain, you talking about after Infinity War or after the one after that?
Yeah, his contract ran up. His contract was up after Avengers 3. And then they said, we're splitting it into 2 movies. And he agreed. He said, okay, I'll do one more after. So Infinity War's Avengers 3. And Avengers 4 doesn't have a title. Because remember, it was supposed to be part 1 and 2.
That's right. Yeah.
So now it's just Infinity War and then whatever Avengers 4 is going to be.
Okay.
So he's in 2 more movies for sure. And then his contract's up.
Interesting. But after Avengers 4 is the last one anyway. So it could just be, it could be a lot of people's last one. And then they might reboot.
They're definitely getting... I don't think they'll reboot. I think they're going to put in all these new guys. The Doctor Stranges and the Black Panthers. And
sure.
Captain Marvel next year when she comes out. Like, I think they're going to replace these characters.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Then you can have like little cameos here and there, I guess.
Yeah. So, do you want to go back to DC movies?
Yeah, sure. What we got there?
DC news is all about Justice League. The one,
of course. Yeah, you were telling me about this.
Yeah. Well, there's one fact that's already out there is that the composer from Batman v Superman, Junkie XL, he's out, and now the new composer's Danny Elfman.
Okay.
Danny Elfman, he's done everything, but he famously did the original Batman and Batman Returns. But he also did the Spider-Man movies, the first 3 with Tobey Maguire. Okay. He's done Age of Ultron. He did the Men in Black trilogy. Like, he's got like over 100 movies. He's all the way back to Beetlejuice and Scrooge. Remember like Bill Murray? I love that film.
Yeah.
So Danny Elfman's in now. So people are thinking, oh, maybe they'll bring back the old Batman music from the original. All that.
Interesting.
The rumors, though, are where everybody's kicking up. It's they're in London. They're doing reshoots. That's not strange. Everybody.
So they're officially doing reshoots. Yeah?
Well, every film does a reshoot. So You know,
right.
oh, we need to get a shot of this guy picking up a glass, or you know,
I never really hear about the reshoots though on other films.
That's the thing. You never really hear about it because the rumor on this particular set of reshoots is that it's very, very large and costing a lot of money.
Interesting.
Reshoots are usually like a couple of days. They fly the actor in, put the costume on, and say, "Okay, I need you to walk over there and look to your left this time."
Right.
Reshoots are called pickups.
Right.
Stuff you didn't get on the day, stuff that you didn't need to get. Like I said,
sure.
Some guy picking up a hammer. That thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, you know, I'm not going to waste all the crew on that. We'll just get that in a month's time.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you're watching the edit of the film, the rough edit, and you're like, oh, we really need somebody to mention the fact that the crystal was in that cave. So you're like, all right, get Cyborg in, and he can say that piece of dialogue. It's just kind of like piecing the film together.
Totally, yeah, it makes sense.
This seems more like a reshoot. This seems more like Joss Whedon's in. He's going to write things and he's going to remake it.
Wow.
Again, that's rumors. There's other rumors like Armie Hammer, who most people probably remember from The Social Network, and most other people probably want to forget from The Lone Ranger. He's flying into London. Like, he posted on Instagram that he's flying to London, and everyone's like, "Oh, is he going to be Green Lantern?" Because Green Lantern was in the trailer for or at the start of Wonder Woman, and like, you know, everything that happens now, people are going bananas. Because they're just like, what can Joss change? What did Zack screw up? What can they be doing now? Will they put more Wonder Woman in because her movie was successful?
That's a good thing, though. As in, like, I mean, it's a shame that they have to do that, but if they're noticing those now and it's not out in a cinema, and then he's like, I would have liked to have changed this. At least he's getting out there and doing it, you know? Yeah.
And the last little thing with that was, it was what was the bloody thing? Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman Joss Whedon connection is a script has come out online from Joss Whedon, apparently from Joss Whedon, that he wrote in 2006.
Okay.
That was like the Wonder Woman version he was going to write. And a lot of people are saying it's kind of sexist and it's kind of, it's not very good and it's badly written.
Right.
And like, Josh is terrible and all this. And I'm just like, you don't even know it's from him. And even if it is from him, it's from 10 years ago and it never got made, so I don't care.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that is like, if it's bad and he's kind of like, he's not gotten any better as a director, then maybe this will be bad. But like the last two movies he did were Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron.
Of course, yeah.
Like, he's good at this. This is what he does.
Yeah. You got to have some faith. He's proven himself, so just let him get on with it.
Yeah. So I'm not going to get involved in the Justice League hype. If there's one thing Wonder Woman has done for me now, it's sort of been like, all right, I trust you enough to like fix it.
Totally. Yeah.
And with that, there was another interview this week with Jeff Johns, who was brought on board at DC. He's from the comics world. He was brought on board to kind of helm the movies, like get them all in line.
Right.
You know, like Kevin Feige does at Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had an interview this week and he said, he kind of tried to address the talk about the other movie. He said, Wonder Woman's great, but we can't make every movie like that. That being said, obviously I'm paraphrasing, Suicide Squad had good characters and some nice ideas, but it wasn't very well told.
Oh, yeah,
It was a bit of a narrative problem. He said the same thing with Batman, Superman, is that there was a lot of things in there that really worked, but maybe it was a bit too dark for the audience.
Okay.
So at the very least, they're kind of acknowledging that they haven't made Citizen Kane.
Right.
They're kind of like, we've made mistakes and we'll try and do better.
Yeah, they just need to show us. They're starting to show us with Wonder Woman, but, they need to show us with the Justice League, I guess.
Yeah. And flipping back then real quick, it's Marvel, but it's not Marvel Studios. It's Fox. Fox are obviously like, everybody's making money. Let's get back to making comic books.
They do the X-Men stuff, don't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
They've started shooting Deadpool 2.
Oh, yeah. Did I see a teaser of him lying down outside the mansion?
Outside the mansion, yeah. That was Ryan Reynolds posted saying they've officially started.
Ah, yes.
And then there's the first rumors, or first photos of the cast from X-Men Apocalypse are flying into, I think it's
sweet.
I think it's Vancouver or Montreal. It's Canada.
I don't know anything about this new X-Men, so there's going to be...
It's called X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Is it the cast from the young cast from Apocalypse?
Yeah, the guy
Okay.
the guy who's directing it, he was the producer on a lot of these movies. Simon Kinberg. He's been
Okay.
in the X-Men movies for like since the beginning.
Okay.
So like all the bad ones you blame on him, and all the good ones you can give him credit for as well.
Right.
So he's directing it. It's his first time directing, so that's a bit weird.
Okay.
I think he might be writing it. But anyway, they're bringing back the cast. I think he said it's going to be 10 years from Apocalypse.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
it's like in the 90s.
Right.
But let's face it, those movies make no sense.
I know, their timeline's already messed up.
That's completely... So no one gives a shit when it's set. Just make a good movie. Don't make X-Men Apocalypse again.
Yeah.
This story is supposed to be based on the Phoenix storyline. So,
Okay.
Jean turned into like the flame bird thing.
Yep.
They're going to go into space. They're going to have the Shi'ar crystal. They're going to have an alien. The alien falls in love with Charles Xavier in the comics. Her name's Lalandra. Apparently, Jessica Chastain is in talks to be the alien for that. She hasn't confirmed yet. But yeah, McAvoy is back. Fassbender's back. Jennifer Lawrence is back. So it's all
brilliant.
those kind of things.
Okay, that's cool.
I like the idea that maybe they use the Shi'ar crystal, which is the nexus of all realities in the comic books, and that could explain everything. Because then you could just say, oh, what you've been watching is just one dimension. And there's all these other dimensions.
Do you think they'll try and fix it, though?
If I was going to fix it, that would be the way I would fix it. Because it would make the fans happy, and it's just crazy enough that anybody else would be like, all right, fine.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. I have to watch out for that.
And also with that, is that if you do that, you can do whatever you want then. You can link all the universes.
Right.
You could have all your Deadpools in there, and you could have all your bloody whatever else they own jumping around in there, and you'd be like, yeah, it's a different dimension, it's fine.
Yeah.
So
mix, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that'll work.
Very interesting.
Oh, because there's another movie coming out, New Mutants.
Oh, that's a movie or a TV series?
It's a movie. It's got...
it's a movie. It's not like going off from Logan or anything, is it?
No, the rumor I've heard about it is that it's going to be a horror movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a comic book horror movie. And the New Mutants are also mutants, obviously. But they're just think of like a younger X-Men team.
Sure, yeah.
Even though the X-Men team are all like 16 or whatever. These are like a younger X-Men team. So like, do you know Arya from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
She's been cast, and the girl from The Witch, and Split.
Okay. Yeah.
Anna Taylor-Johnson. She's in it as well, and I can't remember, some other kid got in it. So that's coming out. Deadpool's coming out, and X-Men's coming out. So Fox are like, oh man, we can make 3 movies a year as well.
Wow. Yeah.
They're going nuts.
Superhero nuts, but
right.
As long as they keep making good ones.
And then, just to bring it down a little bit, to mix between something that's neither DC nor Marvel, so it's not a fanboy thing. We just had to address it because we weren't here last week.
Yeah.
Adam West passed away.
Yeah, I know, man.
88 years of age.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know you tweeted it, but
and he's the LA out in LA. They made a bat signal and they shot it up on one of the buildings.
I heard about
tribute, that. So that was pretty great. And I was just talking to somebody when we were out at the party. It was a wedding for everybody listening. Congratulations, John and Janelle. Have a great time.
Respect.
Yeah. We're family now.
Family, yeah.
They are. They're family now. Somebody was just saying to me, do you think Adam West is the best Batman? It was kind of a joke thing. And I actually thought about it. I said, if you mean best as in the one everyone knows, then he might just be.
Possibly. Because
I
don't know.
It's just the fact of like that show came out in the 60s.
I know.
It ran for 3 seasons, and people still know he's Batman, and they still know that Batman, and they still remember all the goofiness and everything.
Exactly. I think you could also put it in the way like if he didn't play him as well, we wouldn't have the Christian Bales or anyone else.
No, definitely not.
So he's awesome, and if it was a dud and he didn't play it very well, we wouldn't have anyone else.
So. We wouldn't have the bat shark repellent,
We wouldn't have Mr. Freeze.
We wouldn't have Mr. Freeze, yeah. It's just some great connections there. Of like he's part of the Batman history. So even if you grew up and you've never watched those same Bat Time, same Bat Channel shows, he's part of the legacy. So the Batman that you love today is because he was part of it.
Yeah.
So
Big time.
that sucked that he's gone.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame because like we go through our episodes and we can point out when where all these actors passed away. I know last year was a big one for people passing, but we're going to get that every year, really.
Yeah, it's only just going to keep getting worse. Like Carrie Fisher's gone, and now Adam West is gone. It's. I think for a lot of people, the issue with it is just it's a lot of our childhood.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, it's starting to catch up now, isn't it?
Yeah, because we and like the generation just above us, we grew up in the entertainment era of TVs. And cinema. So there's a lot more celebrity in our life than our grandparents would have had, for example.
Yeah.
So like Adam West was Batman in the 60s when TV was big. So for a lot of kids who are now around 50, 60 years old, it's a big blow. And then for people our age who he was still on TV in the 80s, you know, we remember him. So it's part of our childhood for a lot of people. And that's something that didn't happen, you know, back in the 20s and the 30s.
No, and it's going to be weird to think like when we're much older, we're going to be saying things like, "Oh, the Rock has passed." And,
The Rock is he's nearly 50, and Robert Downey Jr. is 50. So but that was a good week, man. That was a good week. Oh, a little bit of happy news for you. I don't know if you've noticed, but they've released a premiere date for Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, September the 24th.
September the 24th.
Yeah, I noted it down because I want to like it. So I just don't like the trailer or the teaser they released didn't sell it for me, but I want to like it. So I'm definitely going to tune in, and I also want to tune into that Orville as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
there's one last thing.
One last thing.
Godzilla 2.
Oh yeah. Well, there's news about that.
Yeah, it's supposed to. I think it's already started shooting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The working title is Godzilla 2. King of Monsters.
Okay.
And obviously this is in the same world as Kong Skull Island. So there's this movie, and the next movie after this is also the titles. It's the working title of Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Which I think, based on the kind of movies where it's Godzilla versus King Kong and all the other versus movie we know, they're going to be friends after they have a bit of a fight. And one of them says, my mother's name is Martha. So that's how I think it's going to go.
Isn't Godzilla? Is he linked in with Pacific Rim, and he's a kaiju?
I don't know. I don't think so. But
I thought I heard somewhere he was, but I could be wrong. But I guess he was created though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's created nuclear tests, maybe.
Yeah.
Or he might be an ancient monster. So in this one, but compared to the first one, which was like Godzilla going around the cities and it was all kind of weird, this one has apparently ghot 3 monsters in it.
Oh, wow.
Hang on, I wrote it down because I can't remember them because I can't remember from when I was a kid. Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah, which I'm pronouncing wrong, so I apologize. So Mothra is a giant moth. Right. Like the kind of one that gets on your window in the summertime when it sees the light on, but giant. Yeah. Rodan is like a dragon. Okay. A kind of lizardy. Yeah, he's like a dragon. He wings, he flies. So the two of them fly. And then the last one, King Ghidorah, is generally, they have different versions, but one of the versions is like a 3-headed dragon who can also fly. So it looks like you've got these 3 flying monsters. Yeah. And then Godzilla. So it could just be like crazy. And then you've got the other movie, Rampage, with The Rock. Oh, yeah. And he's got the, like the video game, what was it? A wolf, a bear.
I know. That's awesome. So he's, I see that on his Instagram. He's like he's got his own little buddy going around with him.
Yeah. So I think it's just going to turn into like Monster Smash here. Everyone's just going to... just throw as much CG as you can and blow shit up.
As long as they do it well.
Yeah, as long as they do it well. Yeah. Oh, and the one thing about the cast in that, I know the guy's not back, Aaron Taylor Johnson, but Ken Watanabe's back, and the girl from Stranger Things is in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the last person that's already been confirmed is our good friend Charles Dance from Game of Thrones.
Nice.
So I'm going to make a prediction that he's most likely going to be a dickhead. And he's probably going to be either a general that wants to kill Godzilla, or
I feel like general.
Yeah, I think that's where he's going. He's going to be like, we have to kill all the monsters, and he's going to try and kill them all. I think that's where it's going to go.
Nice. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So that's a little burst of movie. It could be good, could be bad. Star Trek could be good, could be bad. Who knows?
Touched on a little bit of everything there.
Yeah, we got across the whole spectrum this week.
Nice.
Yep. And thankfully we have no letters this week.
I did see that there was a new Omaze.
Oh yeah,
Did
I didn't check it out.
I don't know too much about it, but it's the guys from the Dodgeball movie.
Really?
So you can get to play dodgeball with them, and you pick a side. So you can either be, I can't remember the movie super well, but you can basically, they're both selling it, saying like, come play dodgeball with us and choose your side, and you can play against them all, which is pretty awesome because that was a hilarious film. So it's all the original actors and stuff.
Pretty awesome. Do you know what the charity it's for?
I thought it was them saying that you can pick your own or something.
All right. I know the Robert Downey Jr. one's still going until the end of this month.
Right.
So by the time this is out, you can still go.
Yeah.
And
but those Amaze things are pretty sweet. Ever since you mentioned them, I check out the site. So
yeah, they're just great. Just for like, if you're going to spend money on a competition, might as well spend money on a competition where you can give it to charity. You know, it's a win-win.
Of course, yeah. Why wouldn't you?
You're tapping away on the computer. I can hear you.
Just for a second.
Just checking to see if you missed any news this week from E3.
I was just going through my list. I thought it's funny because on my movie list I had Adam West and I had 24th Star Trek as well. So you were just pretty much reading my list.
That's all
for
we
me. So yeah.
Well, that's it for us, I guess.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. And if you have any questions, if you want to go to Mars, let us know. Let us know what you think about these reshoots of the Justice League. Did you watch E3 yourself? Are you going to get a new Xbox? Let us know some things, and we'll answer you back.
Yeah, we'll be on Twitter at Rant and Bollox, and then we're on the Gmail, rantandbollocks@gmail.com, or just post it on Facebook or YouTube. And to everybody who was commenting the last couple of weeks about trying to get it on Android, make it easier for Android users, we're looking into that. We're looking to put it on a different platform and all that, and maybe, I don't know, SoundCloud, but there's also a couple other options out there that we can try and find. So we're gonna try and make it easier for that, because we know iTunes isn't everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
So I think Libsyn, was that the one I sent you? I think that's a good one.
Yeah, there's that one, and there's a few people that have got them onto Spotify, but I don't think it's the easiest way to get them on, but we'll figure something out.
Yeah,
for sure.
I know Libsyn is an Android compatible system, so we'll try and get it on there for sure. Other than
Sounds
that,
good.
You better keep listening, otherwise we won't put it anywhere. And you should come back next week because we're family.
Family, respect, and it'll be episode 16.
You keep saying that, I don't believe you.
Wow. Just wait until the day. Wait until it comes.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. Boom.